has Norman back on the Sooner bandwagon. Music, anticipation, and electricity are back in the OU air. New coach, new leaders, but with an old-timey work ethic. The Buffs are here, and Oklahoma faces its first big test. For support, Sooners of the past come to mingle with those of the present.
Perfectly prepared to lay it on the line for 30 minutes for the first half. But I don't want anybody going out there thinking that you've got to play better than you are capable of playing, or that you've got to do something that you haven't already done. You have the capacity to win this football game within what we have done.
And a full house, and all are high-stepping to make Memorial rock again. The magic appears to be back and ready to follow the Chief and his Sooner Nation. We'll be back with Colorado and Oklahoma next.
College.
Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma. Number 4, Colorado in town to take on number 10, Oklahoma. And this has been the hottest ticket around for some time. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried, and welcome to Saturday Night CFA. And, Mike, this really surprises me. But in talking with a number of the seniors on the OU squad yesterday, this is the first time in their entire career here that they would have played before a capacity house. It's been lean times. But the point is, obviously, Howard Schnellenberger is selling it, and they're buying it.
Well, they're buying it. The players are buying it, and the crowd. Ron, this crowd is electric tonight. This is going to be a great atmosphere for this ball game. But you've got to remember, Colorado in the last 5 years has been in a lot of big games, a lot more big games than Oklahoma. How Oklahoma reacts in this big game atmosphere will be important.
And Mike, also what's extremely interesting about this one tonight, with all that is on the line between number 4 and number 10, for both teams, it is in the hands of extremely young and inexperienced quarterbacks.
Without a doubt. You got Oklahoma with the little left-hander, Eric Moore. He's a redshirt freshman. He's very active on the corner and a very good thrower. And I expect that they'll run the option with him a little bit tonight. On the other side, you got John Hessler, who's taken over for the injured Coy Detmer. He had a whole week to practice, so you expect him to be better. But I look for Rick Neuheisel to try to protect him with a good running game and a 2 tight end offense.
Folks, what was really interesting last night, OU just went through their walkthrough under the lights here at Owen Stadium. There were 2,000 people here just to watch them go through their motions early. Let's go down to the sideline. Mike Adamle is there, and Michael, that atmosphere down there is absolutely wonderful, isn't it?
Boy, it's terrific. It makes me want to play again, Ron. You know, the two coaches, quite a study in contrast. You got the venerable sage Howard Schnellenberger against the young wizard Rick Neuheisel. They're as different as night and day, but they do share one common bond. January 2nd, 1984. For Neuheisel, it was his greatest day as a college player. 4 touchdown passes that stunned the University of Illinois. They won it 45-9 and earned Neuheisel Rose Bowl MVP honors. And just a few hours later, Schnellenberger's greatest moment as a college coach, a 31-30 victory over Nebraska in the Orange Bowl, and a national championship for Miami. Fate has brought them together again tonight. Gentlemen.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. That is strange that both would win those honors, and it would happen on the same day and so many years apart, and then wind up here in this football game tonight. And this is an early game for these two teams as far as normally what they have played in the past. Rick Neuheisel, the second youngest coach right now in Division I. Ron Cooper of Louisville is the only one younger than him, and I think we're only talking about a few days. But it's been a transition that has been very smooth. He was the offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback coach. Howard Schnellenberger, first conference game, Mike, in 171 games. For people at home saying, wait a minute, why? Because Miami was independent, because Louisville was independent. In fact, the last conference game he played in, I think, was when he was head coach of the Baltimore Colts.
He got fired.
Well, it is a situation that the man... he traveled all over this state. In a 9-day period, they went to over 30 cities. He talked to the people. He pressed the flesh just like a politician. And he said, I'm here to sell you something, and it's not a bill of goods. Get on board this wagon, and we're going to try to take it in the right direction. Tonight, I think that's what's so big for them in this ball game, Mike, is because he wants them to. They bought it. It's going well, but they got to continue.
And you're right, Ron. And he made a statement this week. He said, we're going to kick Colorado's rear end. And I think he did that to build up his players and give them some confidence. But he's out there, and every one of the Colorado players has that tack to their locker room.
To the near side is Troutman. That's Lyndon Henry to the far side. Herschel Troutman, an average of 15.7. You can see his longest, just under 40. Jeremy Alexander kicks it off, and this meeting between Colorado and Oklahoma is underway. Out of the end zone, so it gives us an opportunity to check the Russell Athletic starting lineups. For Colorado, John Hessler, think about it. Last week he had about 15 seconds to think about playing. Now he's had an entire week. The wide receivers, Ray Caruth. He may be one of the speediest receivers in America. Some people say he runs under 4.2. And the offensive line, this is really an outstanding group. But the man there in the middle, Brian Stoltenberg out of Sugar Land, Texas, he is an extremely fine one, and that's where it all starts right there. He not only calls the defensive calls, great experience, and a very, very fine offensive center. Troutman on the first play, and a flag comes down as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. John Laurie, the referee in tonight's ball game, says it's motion against Oklahoma. The starters defensively for the OU Sooners, running from the 4-3. Cedric Jones doesn't say a lot, but a lot of people say he is a quiet assassin. Very fast group of linebackers. You will see Broderick Simpson, 51, all over the field tonight. He can run with a lot of the running backs. And in the secondary, some good ones back here. Malin Wesley has won the job at free safety and has become one of the real leaders on this defensive team. First pass. Got it complete. Near sideline to James Kidd. And he will be pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And just like that, Oklahoma has given up their first down to Colorado.
What Oklahoma has to stop in this Colorado offense tonight, if you see in the last week's ball game against A&M, they had over 20 plays of 10 yards or more versus A&M last week. Says 15 there, but there was really 20 plays. And they had one drive of 13 plays against Texas A&M. So they're a big play offense that Oklahoma has to shut down.
You see the Buffaloes in that two tight end alignment. Only one setback, and it goes to Troutman. Troutman not very big at 5'7", 180, but you could see heads go back as he popped it hard into the line of scrimmage.
John Hessler, the quarterback tonight, the coaches from Colorado told me yesterday that he had an excellent week of practice.
Mike, some people said, well, last week he didn't have much time to think about it. Now he's had an entire week. You kind of take an opposite opinion of that, don't you?
Yeah, he got more snaps in practice this week, so he really, his intensity's got to be a little bit better this week.
Option back into the boundary, and he takes a pretty good shot as he's knocked out of bounds just across the 35. It's Brent DeQuacy, who is over there, the first Sooner to get to him. I told you, these linebackers, you'll see DeQuacy, Simpson, and Tyrell Peters, and they are all over the field.
Ron, going back to what you said about John Hessler, he's been in the program for 3 years, so that's 2 spring practices, so he's had a lot of practice time in this offense. Of course, you're in a different role when you're the guy that you're counting on, but that's what you expect of your backup quarterback. Step up.
Well, let's see if he can come through and convert on this one with the third down. Hessler sets. He's going to be sacked first time tonight. Cedric Jones, the senior out of Houston Lamar. He's there to wrap him up. Big number 57, the quiet assassin.
And that's what you want in your ball club when you're at home and you want the crowd in the ball game. You want a big sack right off the bat. Cedric Jones gives you that against Clint Moore, the left tackle. Oklahoma should end up with good field position, Ron. Kicking into the wind.
P.J. Mills back into deep safety. And look at the wind. Hold this punt up. It is going to hit at the 39 and now takes a Colorado bounce. And P.J. Mills hollers, get away from it. 33 yards on the kick. This is the way the Sooners will start with the youngster Eric Moore at quarterback. And he's got to get off to a fast start, faster than he has the last couple of weeks. The wide receivers, Oklahoma loves their tight ends, particularly Stephen Alexander. Really fine athlete and good hands. And up front, this is a veteran offensive line. Stamp's probably the most consistent. But, Mike, this is the first time in a year, because of injuries, that this entire group has been together. Running play on first down, and Moore cracked hard by 6, now 7 white shirt Colorado Buffaloes. This is the way they start. Kerry Hicks, number 94. Mike, every time we do them, it seems as though he comes up with a big ball game. Out of Salt Lake City. The linebackers, Matt Russell, he plays in the middle. His teammates say he's just simply a madman. He's a perfect middle linebacker. This is a good group in the secondary. A couple of inexperienced players, but Donnell Liamidi, he's Mr. Big Play for Colorado. Pass to Mills. Now this is what he does best. He can catch the short ball and turn it into something big.
Ron, I think the big factor in this ball game tonight is whether or not Oklahoma can score against Colorado, and the big onus goes on the offensive line. Eric Moore, the left-hander, quarterback Howard Snellenberger, and Gary Nord, the offensive coordinator, really like him. He's 23 out of 53, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
Oklahoma with the players shaken up and down at the 46-yard line, and you can see Moore is up checking on James Allen, the junior out of Wynwood, Oklahoma. He is the tailback. He and Moore have been, they used to share time. Now they're in the same backfield, but you can see the trainers are looking at his right ankle. Well, we hope that he only stunned it. You see the grimace. Sometimes you do just stun it. It seems bad at first, and then after you walk around a little bit, it's better. Jeff Frazier will come in, and he is an extremely good replacement. Number 19, a junior out of Oklahoma City. Frazier is 6'1", 213 pounds, and you see his numbers, and the average at 7.2. All coaches would love to have a replacement who had a 7-yard per carry average.
They really have 3 good running backs.
Running play, wow. Moore hit at the line of scrimmage, and that is Matt Russell, the middle linebacker who we just talked about. They call him a madman, and he's perfect for that middle linebacking position. He loves to put a headgear in there.
Ron, I'm going to repeat that. I think the offensive line of Oklahoma, the game's in their hands tonight, whether or not they can handle this Colorado front and run the football. That's going to be the key because they want to take pressure off of Eric Moore, the young quarterback.
He lost 2 yards, so it's 2nd down and 11. Colorado shows blitz, and here they come. Under pressure, gets it away. Has his tight end, Alexander. They had singled up on the coverage because of the blitz, and it is a 1st down, Oklahoma. Mike Phillips was applying the pressure.
Yeah, they brought Mike Phillips, number 91, just trying to pressure Eric Moore, but he just stands right in there, finds his tight end, Stephen Alexander, for a good gain. When the new coaching staff came in, Eric Moore thought they were going to switch him to receiver. He went up to see Gary Norton. He said, I'm not a receiver. I'm going to be a quarterback. And he has shown him so far that he is a good quarterback.
He really has. James Allen, okay. He is back in the lineup for Oklahoma. Colorado sets the blitz again, and the run straight ahead. Russell and Kerry Hicks will combine on the stop. Mike, let me ask you something. Last week against Texas A&M, Colorado just blitzed and blitzed and blitzed. Can they afford to do that? I mean, they're starting off that way tonight, but Moore, you have to defend him because he can run the football.
You're right. He's the hidden factor because if you blitz Eric Moore and he gets out of that pocket, you're running man coverage with your secondary. Eric Moore is capable of big plays and scrambling in his offense.
What do you do, rolling Moore?
Rolling, get him on the outside more.
Has time, gets his tight end again. Stephen Alexander will take it to the 31. And Mike Tirico, let's check in with you the first time tonight.
Well, Ron, Southern Cal is looking to move to 2-0 in the Pac-10. Looks like they'll be able to do it. Brad Otten now in at quarterback. Throws a touchdown to the tight end, John Allred. An 18-yarder. USC leading Arizona State 16-0.
Well, Mike, they may be fortunate that this was their draw this week with the suspensions and all the distractions. And, you know, Mike, that happened so late. Even if it happened early in the week, it would have been tough, but it's tough to make adjustments when it happens late in the week.
Sometimes your players rise to a different level when something like that happens.
Middle linebackers blitz again, but it's an awfully good block in front, and Allen will have the first down as Roska comes up to make the tackle, and that was Gerald Moore, number 7, who pancaked the defensive play.
Watching tape today on Oklahoma, Gerald Moore is the complete back. He'll block as a fullback. He's a good, solid runner, has great hands out of the backfield. Before this game's over, you're going to see number 7, Gerald Moore, with some big catches, but he's got the whole package, Ron.
It was Greg Jones that he was blocking on, so the Sooners moved the chains. We have no score, about to go under 9 minutes this opening quarter, and the running play, and look at the quickness of the pursuit of Colorado. Moore tries to turn the corner, but he can't get it done, and it's Merkerson who comes over to make the hit.
You talk about Colorado. They made a complete switch on defense now. They're more of a blitzing team. They were a 50 defense last year, 5 down linemen. Now they're a 4-3 team, and they've really kind of gone to the Nebraska philosophy. Hey, we're going to heat you up, sick them, penetrate, all that. So it's a different style of defense under Rick Neuheisel.
Mike, more and more teams are getting away from the read defenses.
They want that speed on the field.
It's Moore in motion. Gives it to Allen, breaks the tackle, has 5, has 10, counted off to the 11-yard line, and Ryan Olsen finally will put a stop on him, and the 75,000 partisans really like it.
What Oklahoma did with a great call here is motioned out Moore here, so that leaves just one linebacker in the box. Really, the safety's going to have to end up making this play. On James Allen, there's just nobody in the middle of the field. A good call by Gary Norton.
10th play of the drive coming up. They go back with Gerald Moore. He will have 5 yards as he takes it at right guard, and Darryl Price wraps him up.
The other big question for Colorado is tonight they came off a very emotional A&M game. You know, when you have back-to-back games like this, Oklahoma's been pumped for this game. They had San Diego State, SMU, and North Texas. They really haven't played the opponents that Colorado has played.
So it's a second down if you've just joined us. Colorado picked up 1 first down, but had to kick it away, and now the Sooners on an extended drive with a second down inside the 10. James Allen maybe has 1, and Kerry Hicks is holding on to him. Now, 3rd down. They can pick up the first down at the 1. Mike, do you continue to hammer away at this tough run defense, or do you put it up this time?
This is where I would expect Eric Moore on some type of rollout, maybe an option play or some type of rollout on the corner off of play action, where he has the run-pass capabilities. And they like their tight end, so the tight end is a big play type receiver, Stephen Alexander, in this situation.
I think that's who I'd look for, number 80. Headed for the corner, and even as fast as Moore is, look how many white shirts were out there to run him out of bounds.
Well, that's the rollout. That's the run-pass theory that you've got. Matt Russell, number 16, was able to knock him outside. No fake at all on this play, so you've got the run-pass possibility, and you see P.J. Mills is wide open in the back of the end zone. They just didn't see P.J. Mills. They missed that one, Ron. He's wide open. That's a touchdown for Oklahoma that they did not get because Eric Moore did not see the field.
Jeremy Alexander, they're going to try to get the sure thing and pick up the 3 points as the ball will go down at the 11. Chip shot, knocked it home. Sooners are on the board first. So let's take a break. 6 minutes, 53 seconds left to play. Opening quarter. Sooners 3, Buffaloes nothing.
Well, this is it.
Ooh, what a dump.
Don't worry. We know a good handyman. What a dump. Can you help?
Sure. Some primer, a couple of wing nuts. How's that?
That'll work.
Hey, can you miter cut those floorboards?
Will do.
Good news. The external beer tap is functional.
Yeah!
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
I could have done this.
Yeah.
In these mountains, you need a tough truck.
Dave Ashley, search and rescue volunteer.
Trails, I tend to make my own. It's one torture test after another. But the people I'm looking for depend on someone to find them. Well, I depend on something too. My Ford F-Series. How do you learn a job like this? Let's just say I drive something tougher than a golf cart on the weekends.
Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford Tough.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights up.
Man, I'm hungry. Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog.
First fry.
Hamburger.
Tacos.
Tacos grande.
Pizza.
Coach,
Going somewhere, ladies.
hard work.
Dedication. Commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, Lord, bud. Go, go.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Chosen for leadership ability, vocal commands, and marching routine, the role of drum major is quite an honor. Whereas many large schools have 2 and 3 drum majors, OU's 290-member band votes just 1. Jeremy Alexander set to kick it off for Oklahoma. Troutman and Lyndon Henry again, the twin safety, back for Colorado. Well, Mike, and he's got a little wind behind him, but out of the end zone.
Here's what Eric Moore didn't see. P.J. Mills is going to go down and work in the corner and wide open on this third down situation. Eric Moore's going to roll to the left. Now P.J. Mills just clears, and you see him in the back of the end zone, just wide open back there for 6.
Eric was kind of running for his life at the time, though. But he'll look back at that and say, oh, my.
Got to have those.
John Hessler back on the field for his second offensive possession. Hands it out in the flat. That's Kidd, and he'll pick up 7. And Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron, in Tucson, Arizona's playing a sloppy game. 11 penalties, 3 blocked extra points by Cal, keeping the Bears in it. And Pat Barnes, 31 yards to Bobby Shaw. This is a game in the 4th. The lead is just 5 for Arizona.
Well, 3 blocked extra points. I don't think I've ever heard of that in one ball game. Have you, Mike?
Special teams coach there is in trouble. Or a special teams player, I might add.
Troutman bounces off 1, bounces off 2, gets by. Nope, he won't get by DeQuacy. Holding on to his jersey, but he's going to have the first down with the second effort.
That's what they say about Herschel Troutman. Oh, he just makes you miss, and he has good balance, and he's just a bouncing running back out of Naples, Florida. He should have really been stopped here without much of a gain. Gets hit right here, spins, keeps moving, keeps his eyes straight ahead. Brent DeQuacy finally brings him down.
Simpson held on to him there, number 51, along with DeQuacy to make the stop. Troutman again, and he'll take it for a couple of yards, and you can see 57, Cedric Jones holding on to him. Well, for any of you keeping track of the baseball playoff picture, ESPN is the place to be for the finish. If the Angels win tonight, 1:30 tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll see the Yankees at the Blue Jays. If the Angels lose tonight, at 2 o'clock on ESPN2, you'll see Houston at Chicago. Then at 4 o'clock on ESPN, we've got the National League race. San Francisco and Colorado joined in progress, and continuing coverage of Houston and Chicago. Pressure, and I believe he caught it.
That was a good catch.
Lipsis, the tight end, with his hands trying to hold it just above the carpet here. And the crowd is booing, and he got it.
Ron, that was a good catch by Matt Lepsis, number 88. Good protection. Cedric Jones comes in, beats the block over there on that side, but Lepsis with a good catch. Ron, when we watched Oklahoma play last year, we both talked about how fast they are on defense. They're only giving up 50 yards rushing to the opponents they played this year.
They rolled the pocket this time. Did he catch it in bounds? Yes. That's Chris Anderson right in front of Howard Schnellenberger, and he grabbed it in. Got a foot down, and it will move the chains. First down for Colorado. Coy Detmer, who injured Injured his knee just last week in a Texas A&M game, watching on the sideline.
Say he may be back in 2 weeks.
Saw him in the locker room visiting with John Hessler just prior to the ball game. Taubman breaks it. 10 yards and out close to 15 as Tyrell Peters finally trips him up. But let's go down and check with Mike Adamle.
Well, Ron and Mike, assuming that Coy Detmer opts to have surgery after the season is over, he's looking at October 21st in the Iowa State game as a return date. But last Saturday, there was no such optimism. This was the play, and watch Coy's right knee. It buckles underneath him as he tries to spin away from the Texas A&M pass rush. He continued the play, and then he did get the pass off, but crumpled to the AstroTurf in pain. The good news, he's in uniform tonight and was actually practicing with the team earlier and testing out that brace.
Pass over the middle, incomplete. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, the good news is that, again, he's in uniform, and he was working out with a right knee brace, and they're very hopeful. They're assuming, I talked to the trainers beforehand, they think that he can come back. The official decision will not be made until a week from now, however.
Okay, and for his, for the guy who has replaced him, John Hessler, that's the first incomplete pass that he's thrown tonight. He's 4 of 5 for 37 yards. He just joined us, Oklahoma 3, Colorado nothing. Hessler sets, got his man open right over the middle at the 30-yard line. Matt Lipsis and Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron Grambling looking for win 399 for Eddie Robinson, looking very good in the Cotton Bowl. Kendrick Nord, their excellent quarterback, to Solomon Thompson. That made it 28-0. It's now 35-0. Looks like Prairie View will lose a record 51st in a row. Robinson goes for that milestone 400th win tomorrow, next Saturday, I should say, on ESPN 2.
Troutman on the right side turns the corner. Tanner and Malin Wesley combining on the stop.
What Oklahoma's trying to do, because of the great running game that Colorado has, is they're trying to move their defensive ends in a little bit inside the tight end, but they're getting sealed a little bit. But that's what Oklahoma wants the ball to bounce to the linebackers. See him get sealed, but the linebackers are not there to make the play.
Second down, the line to make for Colorado, just inside the OU 13. Troutman popped for the ankle, and he will not get away from Rod Manuel.
Early in this game, Ron, I'll tell you something that's very obvious is that Oklahoma's defensive backs are really concerned about the speed of Colorado's receivers. They're way off of them, and that's why they've been open with the short passing game, the outs and so forth. They really fear their speed on the outside, and that's what John Hessler has to take advantage of. The quick outs to Caruth and Savoy and Davis and Kidd, because they're there. They've got the cushion.
Larry Bush, one of the really good cover guys for OU, had an interception in last week's game against the University of North Texas. It is third down. Too tall. Caruth is the man that he wanted. Darius Johnson had the cover, and the field goal team will come on, which means Neil Voskerichian, the senior out of Arcadia, California. Voskerichian, 6 of 7. His longest is 46 yards. This ball is going to be placed down at the 27. 37-yard attempt. They almost got it. He has plenty of distance, and he is no good. Off to the left. So let's take a break. 1:56 left opening quarter. 3-0 Sooners. Now, this was just a couple of moments ago as Heisler talking to his head coach on the sideline. some instruction as far as that last series is concerned.
And what it appeared to me is that John Hessler was saying, hey, I was high with the ball. I mean, I had him there, and we're going to be okay. And that's what Rick Neuheisel's telling me. They've got some cushions on the outside to take advantage of.
Terrence Brown in the game at wide receiver. He's at the top of your screen as the Sooners go from the shotgun. Going to go on top, and that's who he's looking for. Got him open and overthrew Terrence Brown. Wow, had he broken open.
Well, Terrence Brown was last year's quarterback. He said, I don't want any part of that quarterback this year. Put me at wide receiver. And Eric Moore went to Gary Nord and said, now, I've heard this rumor about me going to wide receiver. I don't want any part of that. I want to be the quarterback.
Moore 3 of 4, 34 yards. His first incomplete pass. So both quarterbacks started off with a very warm hand tonight. Call in the audible. You see the linebackers in the middle coming on a blitz. Pass incomplete, and Penny really took a shot from Rosca after the ball went by him.
Sometimes you can bait a young quarterback into something, and I think that's what Colorado was able to do, bait him into another long throw. Steve Rosca, the safety, just sitting back here on the hash. They baited him with the stunt, but no one's coming. See, sometimes those linebackers will get up there like they're going to blitz and bail out of there. I think they talked Eric Moore into a bad play.
Well, it's a third down now, and they need to pick up 10 yards. You need to go to the 30. Blitz up the middle, and they try to throw the middle screen, and it is too low. P.J. Mills is the man they were looking for.
And they came clean, and that's something now that if you're Colorado's defensive coaches, you know you're able to come through on that blitz that clean. You want to still continue to heat him up. You see how they come through clean? Even though it's a screen, Matt Russell came through 2 untouched. I'd expect more blitzing out of Colorado as this game goes on.
Brian Lewis to kick it away. Kicking to Rosca. Kicking with the wind, and he's got a dandy. Rosca all the way back to the 27. 1, 2, 3 flags coming from downfield. That's a 53-yard boot. 9 on the return. Wendell Davis was there to make the tackle on special teams. Block in the back, called against the Buffaloes. So let's take a break. 3-0. Oklahoma leading over Colorado. We'll be right back. Oklahoma 3-0 with only 1:32 left in this opening quarter. And there's only been one quarter this year that the Buffaloes have not scored points in.
Let's see if they take advantage of the outside, Ron, because they definitely have an advantage with their wide receivers.
Hessler fakes it to Troutman this time and then rolls to pocket and gets it complete. That's Ray Caruth. DJ Darius Johnson was there to make the hit on him after a gain of 5.
Here's what you're looking at on the outside. Ray Caruth with the coverage and the cushion on the outside. That's Larry Bush, number 31, just backing out. And then late coming up is Darius Johnson on the hit. That's out there for Colorado on mostly first and second down.
Looks as though that the Sooners, Darius Johnson, may be shaken up a little bit. They're getting him off the field, and they got a replacement in. And the whistle is blown, and stoppage in play, but no timeout was charged. The way they're massaging that arm, it looks as though he might have gotten a stinger. That arm was kind of gone dead on him. Wendell Davis, number 28, comes in replacing him. The option of the pitch back to Trotman. Oh my goodness, Martin Chase, number 93, the sophomore out of Lawton, Oklahoma, was right there to make the hit.
I tell you, Ty Peters was there also, Ron, and he was suspended. That's number 45. He was suspended last week. As you see, the rush defense only 50.7. They're giving up a game average. And when you're suspended, when you don't play in a game on Saturday for Howard Schnellenberger, you play on the toilet bowl on Monday. With all the guys who don't play in the game, they nickname it that bowl, and they made their starter play in that game last week. He played, and of course, all the coaches were just crossing their fingers and hoping he got out of that healthy.
Well, in that opening quarter, OU held Colorado to 10 rushes and 20 yards, 3-0. We'll be right back to Norman with more. Some of the capacity crowd here in Norman, Oklahoma tonight, over 75,000 strong, out to see this one. First time I've had a sellout here since 1989. And these are the numbers on the first quarter. 34 yards, passing, 27 rushing for OU. And as we said, Colorado held at 20 yards rushing first quarter.
And even first quarter, really, except for the missed field goal, to be 3-3.
Pressure on Hessler, and he lobs it and overthrows Lipschitz. Good heavens. Boy, he had him, and he was being team. He was not being selfish. He could have run that ball.
Well, that's the strength of John Hessler. He has good mobility, and he can get out of the pocket. And he made that play against A&M last week because that was the touchdown pass on a scramble. But he just overthrew Matt Lipschitz just a little bit too high.
Well, you could see his head coach trying to calm him down, and he's upset with himself. Pressure, and they got it. Blocked right up the middle. Recovered at the 21-yard line.
Malone, number 49, with the block. This comes 3 inside. Great field position for this OU offense.
So let's see if the Sooners can capitalize. They lead 3-0. Pitch goes to Moore, turns the corner, has 5, now 6 yards. Murkison is out there to make the hit on him. As you look at Mitchell on the sideline, talking with his special teams members, saying where did he come from, or how did he get there, probably.
8-5, second down.
You see Matt Russell up inside. He's just blitzing on every play inside. Gerald Moore with a good play on the outside. A good call again by Gary Nord to get away from the inside blitz, get outside.
See Moore asking for Quan. Straight ahead with Gerald Moore and close to the first down. In fact, I think he has it. And Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, I got an NCAA record on this McDonald's breakaway to Southern California. Keyshawn Johnson with this late third quarter catch goes over 100 yards for the 12th straight game. That breaks Aaron Turner's record. And for a cherry on the Sunday, he scored the touchdown. Southern Cal leads by 24.
Long strider with that kind of speed.
Seen a lot of great receivers this year. He's among them.
Well, the spot that they gave him, he didn't make it. It's going to be third down, less than a yard. They take it to the left side, and they'll have the first down with Gerald Moore. Just inside the 10-yard line with T.J. Cunningham holding on for dear life.
That was a good tackle by T.J. Cunningham, number 8. Excellent tackle. He was a receiver last year. He made a touchdown-saving tackle there. It was a sure tackle. Going to see number 8, T.J. Cunningham, with a good tackle, because if he gets by him, Gerald Moore is in the end zone.
First and goal, Oklahoma. This time from the eye. As the pitch goes back to Allen, he'll take it inside the 5, and he's down to the 3. Hicks made the tackle, but Stamps, Overton, Langston, really good job of blocking up front. And a flag is down at the 5. And it's going to be holding Oklahoma.
You never like to see a holding call. And you know where that flag's at, what it is. As a coach, you know you're giving up great field position and a chance to knock it in from inside the 5.
So instead of a second down and goal at the 3-yard line, it is going to be first down Oklahoma, and the ball now resting just outside the 15-yard line. Oklahoma leading by a field goal, but they don't want 3 on this trip. They want 7. Moore in motion coming to the bottom of your screen, and it's a quarterback draw at the 10, at the 5, and Moore is down to the 4-yard line. Roska finally made the stop on him, put him in motion, and spread everybody out.
What they did again, Ron, was the motion outside is removing a linebacker. And you've got one linebacker inside, and he's blitzing inside, and the quarterback draws wide open. And that play is a direct call off of the last time they ran motion because they saw the adjustment of Colorado.
And if the young quarterback had waited on Langston, he might have taken it into the end zone. To the right side, at the 2, at the 1. No touchdown. They're going to say a foot away, James Allen. It's third down.
Both the Oklahoma running backs, James Allen and Gerald Moore, are getting off to a good start tonight. Gerald Moore again leading on the block. Gets the backside pull also by Milton Overton. Ooh. Looked like a score.
Third down, about a foot away or less. Gets him set right up the middle. Touchdown, Eric Moore. Jeremy Alexander tries to put Oklahoma up 10-0 over Colorado. We got it. So let's take a break. They are standing and they are cheering because this man's team has just bolted on top 10-0 over number 4 Colorado. We'll be right back. ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. 100 years of football, 6 national championships, 2 of them 74 and 75 back-to-back, and it featured names like Switzer, the Selman brothers, and Speedy Joe Washington. Well, I don't need to tell you, 2,000 fans came in here last night just to watch the Sooners walk through. The student section was filled as soon as they opened it 2 hours before game time today. And folks, this 10-0 lead, these guys will stay here till 6 in the morning if they have to, but they're loving what they're seeing. Big opening on the return, and Henry is going to take it back out over the 40, and they're going to say shoved out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Key play in this last series for Oklahoma was the block punt. Terrence Malone, number 49, just a missed blocking assignment because no one picks him up. He just runs straight through to block that punt and to set up that great field position in that score and make Howard Schnellenberger look like Babe Ruth calling his shot. But I'll tell you, it's early in this ball game, and Colorado has had some things offensively. When they quit misfiring, they're going to take this ball right down the field.
You know, and the point that you made early on in the first quarter also is Colorado has been such a team of such big plays, and they have not been able to get that going just yet.
Well, they're there on the outside.
Option pass. looking for Savoy, overthrown at the 35-yard line. It was Larry Bush having the cover.
What Rick Neuheisel would like to see is John Hessler just get a little bit more in control. He's just a little bit high on his throws right now, but they're open. They're out there and they're open, and Rick Neuheisel knows it. He knows he's got a good plan against this Oklahoma defense.
You know, Mike, you and I talked about the weather coming over here. We've had wind warnings yesterday and also today, and coming this direction, he's been long on two different passes.
He's got the wind in his back.
Yep, he sure does. Short drop this time, and the pass complete to Savoy. It'll be a gain of about 3 yards, and it's going to be a third down as Wesley came up to make the hit. And this is what we're talking about. You know how the wind blows here in Oklahoma, and those are huge flags, and they're outstretched completely. So I guess just like the song, the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and it's sweeping off the plain tonight.
What song's that?
You better not say that to local folks.
All right, you got it. Oh, you know the title.
Well, it's Oklahoma.
Oh, I got you got it. All right.
Oh, my goodness. On third down. Sets it up deep over the middle. Has a man tipped in, incomplete. And again, he was just a little too tall, and I think Wendell Davis got a piece of it.
Well, the other thing is Cedric Jones pressured him from the backside. The all-time leader in sacks here at Oklahoma puts a lot of pressure on. You're going to see the route. Ray Caruth down the middle. Open. Just can't get him the football. It's a catchable ball there, but may have been tipped.
I think Wendell Davis did get a piece of it. Now let's see if the blocking setup is different for Andy Mitchell this time. At the 10, and takes an Oklahoma bounce and goes into the end zone. So Colorado has a 41-yard kick return that they don't take advantage of. We'll be right back. Well, now for our Sega Sports Students of the Game. From Colorado, defensive tackle Kerry Hicks. He is already graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with a 3.0 GPA. And from Oklahoma, senior guard Milton Overton. He is a 4-point graduate student majoring in sociology. Sega Sports congratulates these fine student athletes. Sega! Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried and Mike Adamle from Norman, Oklahoma. Beautiful night. They had predicted rain. Looks like we're going to miss it. Temperature very mild and wind coming in the face of Oklahoma right now. Step shot, hit, ball is on the ground, and I believe Colorado recovered at the 17-yard line. They did. Kerry Hicks is on the football.
Darrell Price also hitting Eric Moore out of the shotgun, causing that turnover. Eric Moore set back to pass. There's Darrell Price, number 99. He strips the football with his left hand. Kerry Hicks recovers it. Colorado in business. That's how fast momentum can change.
So Colorado's offense meeting on the sideline with Rick Neuheisel. As you look at Eric Moore on the far sideline. And a reminder that every 10, 30, and 50 minutes after the hour, ESPN will update you on all the scores. Things going on in the world of sports. Marlon Barnes, number 9, the lone setback this time. And Barnes gets the handoff, and he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you, Cedric Jones is teaming with Baron Tanner. Mike, Cedric Jones, between pressuring and a sack and 3 individual tackles, he's just been everywhere.
They're playing him inside eye of the tight end, and he's moving down inside. See how inside he is on this play. Steps over, gets in on the tackle, and both defensive tackles, too, Atkins and Tanner, very active in the inside.
It's a loss of 1, so it's going to be 2nd down and 11. Marlon Barnes, again, the only setback for the Buffaloes. Pressure from the backside. He gets hit. The ball is loose, and they are calling an incomplete pass as a flag goes down. And it was Cedric Jones who almost took his head off. Holding is called against Colorado.
Talking to some pro scouts about Cedric Jones. They say he can be special. They compare him a lot to Mike Mamula, only they think he's a better athlete, better size at 6'4", 263. He can come off that corner and pass rush.
Mike, as good as that Colorado offensive line is, they better get some help, or Hessler. Those are some tough shots right there.
The strength of the offensive line of Colorado is the center and 2 guards. Both tackles are really first-year starters, Kyle Smith and Melvin Thomas, so they're inexperienced. And Cedric Jones has taken advantage of that.
So a timeout is being called, I believe, by Yes, Colorado is calling a timeout as Hessler had come over to the near sideline. Will take it with it. 10-0 Oklahoma. Oklahoma leads with 9 minutes and 23 seconds left to play until halftime. Mike, the fumble just a moment ago gave CU the ball at the 17-yard line. They have not been able to take advantage of good opportunities tonight. On the last series, a 41-yard kickoff return, they didn't get anything out of it. Here, they got to get points of some kind.
Yeah, they do. Credit Oklahoma's defense. They run so well on defense, they can make big plays.
Hessler has it complete at the 19-yard line and then shoved out of bounds.
But that's what's there, Ron, if they'll just be patient on the outside. James Kidd with the 10-yard completion here. Looks like Oklahoma's so concerned about the Colorado speed on the outside.
So now it comes down to a 3rd down, and they still need 11 yards to pick up the first down. They got to take it down inside the OU 8.
Confusion in that huddle.
You can see Thomas, Nioli, Stoltenberg, and now Colorado's going to call a timeout.
Well, that's a problem sometimes when you send verbal signals in. Sometimes they get it mixed up, and you got to spend the timeout.
So we're going to take it with them. 9:16 left until halftime. We'll be right back. So 10-0. Colorado still with the 3rd down and about 11 and a half, almost 12 yards to pick up the first down. And they had to call a timeout because the play that came in, there was confusion. See if he got it worked out. 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions tonight. It's Barnes in motion. Pass over the middle. It is caught. Savoy, touchdown, Colorado.
That's what John Hessler needs in this ballgame, Ron, a completion like that to get back started again.
Well, now Colorado is going to be called for a 15-yard penalty for too much celebration. Clint Moore, number 66 at left tackle, did a really good job on Cedric Jones that time to make sure his young quarterback had time to get the pass away. Clint standing on the sidelines. Well, this game is just absolutely going down a real steep hill there for a bit, and all of a sudden, Mike, the last minute on the clock is taken 20 minutes to play.
I like what Colorado's doing offensively. I really feel like they've got a pretty good game plan in this game. Just have not executed early. Have some things open in the passing game.
John Laurie has called his officials together. Mike, what could they possibly be talking about? There are 4 flags down in the end zone. Well, what John was saying, if you could read his lips, unsportsmanlike called against Colorado, and it will be stepped off on the kickoff.
And that's where the benefit of the wind at your back on the kickoff should help Colorado a little bit.
For sure.
What the hell's going on?
Howard just summed up the situation for us. He said, anybody know what the hell's going on? And he's exactly right. Howard, we're asking the same question.
Well, I think they give them their choice, don't they?
Yes, they do give them their choice.
And that might be the holdup. Colorado was able to force the turnover and turn it into points.
They've elected to take this unsportsmanlike here.
Well, I did see a personal foul call, too. Maybe that will be assessed on the kickoff. We'll have to see. I was commenting to you today about the games that I've watched. I do not see the celebration thing called as much as I saw early in the season.
I'll tell you, we're going to show you a couple of things after the extra point attempt here, Mike, that may kind of sum up why the flag was thrown. Voskerichian to attempt an extra point of 35 yards. Plenty of distance, and he's got it. So it's 10-7. Now, let's go back and show you the touchdown.
Good protection here. Phil Savoy with a catch. Let's check John Hessler after the touchdown.
That's the only thing we can figure is that Hessler with the celebration, and that's when the flags were thrown.
I hate to think that flag was called on that. Now we'll see if the personal foul goes.
ESPN is your home for college football again next Saturday. At 11:30, it all starts with College Game Day. At 12:30, Michigan takes on Northwestern. At 3:30 and 7, catch up on all the scores and highlights. And at 7:30, see if Miami can slow down the Florida State Seminoles. At 10:30, we put a period on the day. All of that next Saturday. So to repeat the sequence that occurred, 15-yard penalty. They stepped it off. The extra point attempt had to come from the 25, which made it a 35-yard attempt, and Voskerichian knocked it home, so we have a 10-7 ball game.
And there was not a personal foul call.
Eric Moore waiting on the sideline as P.J. Mills is the deep man. Jason Leslie out of Palacios, Texas, will kick it off. 2 yards deep, he'll return it. Tries to turn the corner and shoved out just around the 20. Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron, one of the oddest plays of the day. Jeremy Borseth, the punter for Louisville, is back. His punt is partially blocked. Goes up in the air and comes backwards. So Kerry Cobb heads up, picks up the bouncing ball and takes it in. A Memphis touchdown. And Memphis leads by 4.
Oh, my. One of those kind of days. 9:02 to play until halftime. Sooners by 3. Allen to the right side. Still going beyond the 45 to the 46. Donnell Liamidi finally puts a stopper on him at the 45.
Oklahoma's using some pretty good splits by their offensive line, trying to spread that Colorado defense out. There's the splits by the center and the guard and the tackle. You see how wide they are? Now the give to James Allen. Breaking into the secondary, J.R. Conrad, number 78, with a block.
That's a gain of 23 yards. Look at the yards rushing. Now 76 for OU. Play action. And Moore will take it for 5 yards out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Liam Eady came over to shove him out. And even if you don't pick up much on that play, it keeps you honest and plants the seed, doesn't it, Mike?
It makes your defensive end stay at home in your secondary. Eric Moore, when he played Little League football, his coach nicknamed him Snake. He didn't know why. Said a little while later, a couple years later, he saw some films of Kenny Stabler and known as the Snake, and he said he admired Kenny Stabler from that point on, so he wants to be known as Eric the Snake Moore in honor of Ken the Snake Stabler.
There's a great resemblance as far as from the same side they throw, being left-handed, but in speed, I don't think so.
No.
Trent play right up the middle. 5, 10, 12, 13 yards. Gerald Moore finally tackled by Roska. I'll tell you, the play calling and the offensive line for OU, outstanding.
The line splits are again helping the University of Oklahoma because they're splitting them out wide. You see the big split between the guard and the center and the tackle. A good block by James Allen, and then Gerald Moore is not your typical fullback. Once he gets in the secondary, he's like a running back out of the tailback position. Good speed.
They're going to say officially 14 yards in the play and another Oklahoma first down. And now Eric Moore either didn't like what he saw or was confused about the play that was called, and he will call a timeout. Catch NFL Game Day on Sunday when Boomer and the boys explore the brashest of the Cowboys, Michael Irvin. What's wrong in Pittsburgh? And a reversal of fortunes in New Orleans. NFL Game Day Sunday, 11:45 a.m. sharp. Mike Adamle, let's go down to the sideline and check with you.
Well, Ron, while watching Oklahoma lose to BYU in last year's Copper Bowl, Howard Schnellenberger's first observation was how out of shape the Sooners were. So this year, an edict. Trim the fat by 1,000 pounds, and his offensive line answered the call. Left tackle, let's take a look at this graphic. Left tackle Harry Stamps lost 30 pounds. Milton Overton cut his body fat to 5%. Center Chuck Langston is trimmer and slimmer. Right guard and right tackle Joe Carollo and J.R. Conrad lost 55 pounds combined. They may not be a mean machine, but they are certainly a lean machine this year.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive. 30, 12, 16, 26, and 29 pounds. And as we mentioned, first time this group has been together in a full year because of injuries. Allen in motion. Little counterplay to Moore, and that's not going anywhere. As Ryan Olsen stepped right up into the hole and made the hit on him.
Well, Ryan Olsen stayed square in the line of scrimmage, number 55. Read that play, got off the block, kept his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, pad under pad, made that play.
You just joined us, 10-7, Oklahoma. Sooners jumped out on top 10-0. And Colorado took advantage of an OU turnover. As Eric Moore was hit from behind and fumbled the ball, and that's how they got their 7.
P.J. Mills is the go-to receiver for Oklahoma.
Second down, it's a draw play, though, and a great job defensively as Allen cannot go anywhere. Matt Russell from the middle linebacking spot is there to just devour him.
Danny Hope, the offensive line coach from Oklahoma, said he throws his body around, talking about Matt Russell, number 16, who makes the tackle here. He says every time you look at the tape and they uncover the ball carrier, you always find number 16 around there.
He actually got a little help from Chuck Langston. You can see Chuck was trying to shove him out of his lane sideways and shoved him kind of into the ball carrier. So it's third down, and the line to make is the 26.5 of Colorado. Pass caught over the middle by Alexander, and he guessed right with the inside move, and it's a first down, Oklahoma.
A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator, Colorado, was concerned about the speed and the reception ability of the tight ends. Steven Alexander, number 80, is just going to curl. That's an option route. Now, once he catches it, he moves back to the inside, and look at the yardage he picks up after the catch for the first down.
Mikey, 6'4", almost 230. In high school, he was the state high jump champ at 6'8", and also played basketball. Very good athlete. He gained 20 yards in that last play. This running play right here, nothing. Number 33, Ron Murkison, is sitting right in the gap.
And that shows you in that last play the strength of the arm of Eric Moore. He's got a strong, very strong arm drilling that ball into Steven Alexander. I've been impressed with Eric Moore. Now, they like to play Garrick McGee a little bit in the second quarter, but time's running out in this quarter. 6:06 in the second quarter here, but Garrick McGee will see some action, the backup quarterback for Oklahoma. He was the starter last year.
Second down and 10, the ball at the Colorado 20. Russell shows blitz, but he stays at home. Pass over the middle, too tall. Juwan Penny was open at the 10-yard line, but he just kind of got that one, got the nose up, and it went skyward. Juwan, a senior out of Tulsa, Washington. Not quite tall enough to get that one at 5'11". Boy, when you're running that kind of route, too, those receivers hate to get stretched out like that because that's when you get your ribs taken away from you. Third and 10. 4 out of 5 on third down conversions tonight for the Sooners. Right over the middle, has a man, touchdown, Juwan Penny. He was tall enough that time. You talk about celebration rule. These guys are calling it tonight.
It's the only crew I've seen lately.
Bill Howard talking to Garland Old, the field judge.
Juwan Penny is running a post route. Eric Moore with a good throw, a high throw, but a good catch. And that, I guess he went to the crowd, and that's why this call is. Juwan Penny, after he makes the touchdown, he goes to the crowd, and that's the penalty.
Jeremy Alexander tries to make it 17 points for the Sooners. And he does.
And Ron, where this will hurt Oklahoma is the fact that they now have to kick off into the wind. So Colorado should end up with pretty good position.
Sooner Schooner will ride again. I'll tell you what, let's take that play all the way to the end, Mike, and finish your discussion on what happened at the end of the play.
Juwan Penny just heads to the crowd. He's, I guess, showing the football.
Sooner Schooner makes a successful run. And it's 17-7. 9 plays, 78 yards, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Penny with the 20-yard reception.
The key will be where Colorado ends up with this football. With the penalty on Oklahoma, driving them back to kick it off into the wind, Colorado should end up in pretty good position.
Now here's the thing. Jeremy Alexander's been kicking it 10 yards deep into the end zone, but he's kicking it into the wind. And I'm with you. It's let's see how much this penalty winds up hurting them, because they're going to be kicking off from their own 20-yard line. I think that we have seen our last two celebrations, because at halftime under no I think they're going to be let known we're not doing this anymore, guys. So Alexander tees the ball up at the 20. Oklahoma was a slight underdog coming into this ball game tonight. They jumped out in front 10-0, and they have just stretched that lead back to a 10-point margin. Colorado ranked number 4 in the nation, and the Buffaloes might be a little bit shocked right now. Troutman and Lyndon Henry back in a deep safety. a good kickoff into the wind. Going to come all the way to the 15, so that would have been to the goal line, and it's Troutman. And look at the hit on Troutman. He will not make it to the 30-yard line. Well, the final round coverage continues tomorrow for the PGA Buick Challenge. Fred Funk and Steve Stryker tied for the lead at 11 under par. And from Tanglewood Country Club, the Cadillac Senior PGA Tour Vantage Cup Championship, Hale Irwin and Dave Stockton tied at 10 under par. All tomorrow. Final round coverage here on ESPN. Again, Marlon Barnes is the setback, replacing Troutman. He gets the handoff and he gets Chase. Martin Chase at the line of scrimmage is right there to wrap him up. Maybe a loss of one.
And he played defense for Oklahoma last year as a true freshman. This year as a sophomore. Martin Chase, 6'2", 278. He's the backup defensive tackle to Baron Tanner. So Oklahoma trying to keep fresh people in the line.
The other thing that's happened also, Mike, is Arthur Atkins with an injured knee. Chase is playing on a regular basis because Atkins, it's going to be a couple of weeks before he gets back.
Rushing yards at Colorado. They've got to find a way to run the football.
Well, let's see if Tanner wins his point here. He's pointing, saying, I was drawn offside. Sooner faithful not caring for that one. 5-yard penalty. Second and 5. Pass is caught by Savoy at the 45-yard line. And Mike Tirico, let's check with you again.
Ron, after showing early signs of the 3 starters suspended, a slow start for USC, they come on strong. A touchdown run for Laval Woods, his second of the game. Their defense has allowed just 27 points this year. They're 4-0.
7 points a ball game will win you a lot of contest. Our situation, 4 minutes and 35 seconds left until the halftime. Oklahoma by 10. Going to be hit and knocked down for a loss, and it's Brent DeQuacy, the senior out of Midwest City, just right up the road.
He's not a flashy linebacker. He had the toughest transition because last year he played on a tight end. Number 47, Brent DeQuacy, just taking on the block, keeping his outside arm free, making a tackle on Marlon Barnes.
Brent has played for a long time here. He came in and saw playing time early because he had the outstanding ability. And you've got to know that's a thrill when you live in the area. And, of course, as I said, Midwest City's just right up the road. But he's been an outstanding player for them. Pass almost intercepted. That was Broderick Simpson, number 51, who cut in front. And I think Savoy was distracted just enough that he couldn't hold on.
Almost had a chance at that interception. Broderick Simpson's another linebacker of those 3 that can really run. His motor's always running. He's got a good hand on it to tip it away from Phil Savoy.
So it's third down. And the line to make for the Buffaloes is just inside the OU 45. Good protection this time, and he has the pass on the comeback, and that's Chris Anderson. And that'll be enough for the Colorado first down. Rod Henderson and Darius Johnson combined on the stop.
Good tackle by Rod Henderson. He's 200 pounds as a defensive back, very aggressive.
Mike, he played some linebacker last year.
Yeah, he's a good-sized player to have in the secondary. When he hits you, it brings a load.
So they say officially gain of 12 in that play. Swings it out to Barnes, out of the backfield. Inside the 45, now inside the 40. Peters finally puts a stop on him.
With all the underneath throws that Colorado's able to make right now, here's a little screen to Marlon Barnes. Gets a little bit of a push in the back there on Brent DeQuazy by Melvin Thomas. Not called. But with the short passing game that Colorado has effectively established, the deep one may be there real soon for John Hessler.
Colorado down by 10, trying to cut it back to 3. Barnes right up the middle, almost broke it. Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, as Colorado works towards the end zone, we work towards the GMAC halftime report. We'll tell you about the nation's longest Division I winning streak derailed, and the update on the Major League Baseball wild card playoff situation, all coming up on the GMAC halftime report at the break. Back to you, Ron.
Okay, Michael, we look forward to hearing that. 17-7 our score, and we're about to go under 2 minutes. They have just had a ball in this first half here in Norman, but they're right now pleading for this defense to step up big. 3rd down and short. Barnes bounces outside, breaks a tackle, and he's going to be inside the 25, and it's 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
We were talking about Rod Henderson a minute ago, how he brings a load. I'll tell you, he got hit by a load here. Marlon Barnes, number 9, just ran over Rod Henderson in the secondary to pick up this 1st down. The give to Marlon Barnes. And you're going to see number 17, Rod Henderson, right there. He just ran right through the tackle. Good, strong running by Marlon Barnes.
Boy, that was impressive. You take out a guy like Troutman, who was so effective. Again, Barnes, you don't miss anything. This time, OU is there, and they're ready. As Broderick Simpson, number 51, is the man, the first one to strike him.
What's set up here for Colorado is, because they're running that outside zone play, which is a straight handoff to the left side, the nakeds are open for John Hessler to roll out.
There's Simpson, and we talked about his quickness, and he just gets into the body, and that's the way you stop a short, stocky player like that, Mike. You got to take his legs away from him. 10 plays on this drive. Oklahoma with the blitz. Play action is caught by Savoy. Going to be short of the 1st down as Bush made a good open field tackle. And now it's going to be 3rd down at about 1.
Credit that completion to the offensive line because they gave good protection. Phil Savoy, you see the big cushion on the outside again, afraid of the speed. That's Larry Bush, number 31. Colorado's receivers have such great speed. They're honoring it and respecting it with those cushions. But good blocking by the offensive line.
Again, it's 3rd down and short. Barnes right up the middle. And I don't know. He's close. Simpson made the hit on him.
Never been a fan of the one back in short yardage. Always like a lead blocker.
You see the officials holding on to the football to make sure it doesn't get moved at all because it's that close. We're talking about inches either way. And I'd say that's about 4 or 5 inches. It's going to be 4th down, Colorado.
Yeah, I'd go for it here. I'd go for the 1st down.
You can see Rick Neuheisel wants a timeout, and this will be the last one for the Colorado Buffaloes.
It's going to be a tough decision for Rick Neuheisel right here, especially out of timeouts.
Oh, well, we've got a couple of seconds for any of you keeping track with the baseball playoff picture. ESPN, the place to be for the finish. Now, the Angels win tonight at 1:30. Tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll see the Yankees and the Blue Jays. The Angels lose tonight. At 2 o'clock on ESPN2, you'll see Houston at Chicago. And then at 4 o'clock on ESPN, we've got the National League race with San Francisco and Colorado joined in progress and continuing coverage of Houston and Chicago. Baseball and lots of it tomorrow. Howard Schnellenberger's ball club up by 10, 17-7.
This is big right here on this decision because if you pick up the 1st down, then you got to throw the ball into the ground, stop the clock, and give you a play or two to be able to throw into the end zone. This changes the whole theory of the thing without a timeout. Now you got to really use good clock management.
And I'm sure that's what Rick Neuheisel just did. They not only discussed this play, but the what-ifs.
Well, they've got a couple plays going here. They've got the one to pick up the first down, and they're ready right away with a no-huddle with a second play. I think this will be a quarterback sneak here.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and Marlon Barnes the only setback. Quarterback sneak, and he didn't get much, but I think he got it.
Now they need to get set again and be ready to go with the next play. We're so far away, we will need some carrier pigeon to tell us whether he made it or not.
This is now the highest press box I've ever done a game in, and I have to say the most unique experience is I've never seen the top of a punt before. And here's where we are. See those speakers where those lights are in the very middle of that? Yeah, we're
hiring that.
We're
hiring a Georgia pine.
So they got the first down. It is 1st and 10, Colorado. With 26, now 25 seconds. The clock is running. Hessler sets to throw. In the end zone, got him for the touchdown. Ray Caruth. Colorado comes right back.
That's the best kind of clock management you can have. Score on the first play after the first down. That's a good job by Colorado and Rick Neuheisel and offensive coordinator Carl Durrell. Taking the first down, they had the second play already called. They're up there, and there's still 17 seconds to go on the clock.
And Mike, that drive's going to be like 71 yards. That was very, very efficient. Boskarichian with the extra point. He's right down the middle. So 17 seconds left until halftime. And it is 17-14.
Ray Caruth, number 21, just with a corner route. John Hessler with good presence in the pocket. Good protection by the offensive line given the time. And Ray Caruth beating number 17, Rod Henderson, for the touchdown. It's been a good first half.
Boy, has it ever.
And Rick Neuheisel happy with that call.
And, you know, Mike, I think the point that we need to make on both sides of the line is young John is being congratulated over here. And on the other side of the field, we're talking about guys that have not played major college football. And, you know, both teams undefeated in front of a national television audience, 75,000 folks, and they haven't acted like they even know that there's other stuff's going on.
Well, Rick Neuheisel had a good point. He said, I was always a backup quarterback for a long time at UCLA, and Homer Smith, who was the quarterback coach, explained to him, he said, you always have to be ready because you're one play away. So you have to prepare yourself mentally. Even though you're not getting as many snaps in practice, prepare yourself mentally. John Hessler has done that. He's ready to go.
And Jason Leslie to kick it off for CU. And with the wind at his back, drives it 5 yards deep into the end zone. Mike Tirico.
In talking about backup quarterbacks, Georgia lost Mike Bobo, their starter, having to turn to former tailback and wide receiver Hines Ward today. Tough to make that start against the Alabama defense, which scored 21 points, including this Cedric Samuel touchdown. Bama shut out the Dogs.
Mike, I'll tell you what, if you got as many raises in your life as positions Hines Ward's had to play at Georgia, you'd really be a rich guy. He's played like 6 different positions: wide receiver, quarterback, tailback. They have used him at everything down at Georgia. Numbers on Hessler in the first half: 14 of 20, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Oklahoma will run out the clock, and they head for the locker room. 17-14, Oklahoma leading over the Colorado Buffaloes as we're here at halftime. And Mike, off the top of the telecast, we talked about the 2 young quarterbacks. What kind of grades would you give them for the first half of play?
I give them both an A because I think both of them made big plays in the first half. Eric Moore here with a pass to Juwan Penny for the touchdown. Come right back with the other side, John Hessler with his touchdown pass to Ray Caruth. Both have had big halves. And they really, Oklahoma's had a better running game, so they benefited Eric Moore more than John Hessler's running game of Colorado. But Colorado started to get a little success in the running game there in the second quarter.
You and I talked during the halftime as you look at P.J. Mills, who's the deep man for the Sooners, and we felt as though that maybe Hessler was kind of getting into the rhythm of the game more than in that first quarter.
I see more things open for him than I really do for Eric Moore on the other side.
Jason Leslie kicks it off, and this is P.J. Mills from the 6-yard line. And let's check in with Mike Adamle, who's with a special guest. Mike?
Boy, the numbers for John Hessler, 14 of 22 touchdown passes. Looks like he's finally settled down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he is. You know, he's just got to get in his rhythm, and I think he did right there at the end of the second half, end of the first half. You know, he hit that touchdown pass, and, you know, he told me he felt real good about things. So
I know you guys, one of the reasons why you made the 66-man travel roster is to room with him on the road and to be with him on the sidelines. What kind of things did you discuss last night and at halftime?
Well, I just told him to settle down and take his time out there. And, you know, if he feels pressure, get out of there and make something big happen.
Notice you had the shoulder pads on and the knee brace on before the game started. How do you feel? What's the prognosis?
I feel great. You know, I just got to wait to get cleared by the doctors and all that. You know, they want to take it slow and don't want to get any swelling in there. So I just got to wait for them.
Okay, Coy, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
Coy Detmer, as you look at Hessler on the sideline, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oklahoma keeping the ball on the ground as they open this second half of play. And it is going to be a second down and short. And an injured player is James Allen, the junior out of Wynwood, Oklahoma. He was shaken up early on in the contest. And 19, Jeff Frazier has come in replacing him. So we'll try to get an update as soon as we can on James Allen and his status. Gerald Moore. And he'll have the first down as he bangs his way out to the 35-yard line, and middle linebacker Matt Russell and Ryan Olson combine on the stop.
Except for the fumble that Eric Moore had, which Colorado turned into a touchdown, Oklahoma's really played very disciplined on offense tonight. Their offensive line, which I thought was a question mark coming into this game, really has played well against this front of Colorado, and they've been able to control the ball on the ground and control the clock.
As he looks up and sees Colorado showing blitz, and here they come, and they'll try to take it on the sweep. No place to go to the right. Frazier reverses it, and he's going to turn it into a profit. As Mike Phillips will make the stop, the ball has come loose, but they say it is dead at the 38-yard line. And Mike, let's take a look at the first half stats, and what kind of story do you see here?
Well, again, I think the fact that Colorado, when you look at the rushing yards, only 32 rushing yards. This is a team that 3 times this year has had 200-plus rushing yards and 200-plus passing yards in the same game. So they've got to find an answer there to run the football. They've not been able to get the big play against this Oklahoma defense yet.
Well, Frazier almost caught for a loss, and he winds up with a gain of 4. Short drop this time, gets it out to Mills. Tried to break off the tackle, but he couldn't get away from Kenny Wilkins.
That was a good tackle by Kenny Wilkins. 3-step drop by Eric Moore. You like to throw that quick passing game, especially when teams are blitzing on you, because you know they can pick up the blitz and you're going to get the ball off before they get to the quarterback. Good call again by Gary Nord, who has 110 people here tonight from Kentucky. He had to spend $1,300 on tickets tonight. You'd figure that they'd find a way to... Yeah, not that many tickets. 110 tickets. Not so fast.
Third down and short. The line to make is the 45. They come back into the boundary with the pitch. And with the hit, I don't think he got it. Russell is right there to make the hit on Gerald Moore. I think the Sooners are looking at the 4th down.
I think you're right. There's the emotional leader of that defense, Matt Russell. Whereas number 16 is a middle linebacker. He's a in-between tackle guy. He's going to make a lot of plays. You see, he's faking the blitz. Now he steps into the block. Now he'll scrape off to the left side, unblocked, makes the tackle on Gerald Moore.
Brian Lewis will stand back to kick, waiting for this one at the 28-yard line. And he has got that gusting wind behind him as you look at Steve Rosca, who is back in a single safety for CU. partially blocked. Brandon Southward is the man who got the block, number 46. So it is a 10-yard kick, and Colorado will take it over at their own 44-yard line. So let's take a timeout. 11:21 left in this third quarter. Sooners by 3. ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by American Honda, celebrating their 25th anniversary of selling cars in America. And by Discus Athletic Activewear. Discus Athletic, the way America plays. Oh, a lot of great ones here at OU. 97 All-Americans, but maybe none greater than these 3 Heisman Award winners, Billy Sims, Billy Vessels, and Steve Owens. If you just joined us, the kick has been blocked, and only 10 yards did it advance downfield to Colorado with great field position. Ball is fumbled on the ground, and Hessler makes his own recovery following a collision.
Here's the punt block to play before. Brandon Southward is going to come through. Now here's the missed block. It's by the up back. It's Michael Rose, number 20. Just doesn't pick him up. And there's the block kick. Both teams getting a kick block in this ball game.
Marlon Barnes is coming at running back, number 9, the sophomore out of Memphis. Pass this time to Anderson, though, and he'll take it to the 40-yard line. Wrapped up by Tyrell Peters and also Wendell Davis. Russell on the sideline. Looks like he's having an equipment problem, so hustling to retie that shoe. 17-14, Oklahoma. But Colorado with a big opportunity here, but they got to convert now on a third down play. They got to take it all the way to the OU 44. Caught it out of bounds. Marlon Barnes got the ball, but Martin Chase was all over quarterback John Hessler.
John Hessler tried to slide to the left side, and he slid right to Martin Chase, number 93, and he just put that ball up for grabs. That was a hope and a prayer on that pass.
Win, lose, or draw in this football game. The Colorado coaching staff is going to say to their team on Monday, guys, we left so many opportunities on the field and did not take advantage of Saturday night. Andy Mitchell back to punt. ESPN is your home for college football again next Saturday. At 11:30, it all starts with College Game Day. At 12:30, Michigan takes on Northwestern. At 3:30 and 7, catch up on all the scores and highlights. And at 7:30, see if Miami can slow down the Florida State Seminoles. At 10:30, we put a period on the day. Eric Moore brings his club out. They have a first down at the 16-yard line. Frazier back in the lineup, replacing James Allen. He gets the fake, and Moore will take it all the way to the sideline and just throw it away. And let's go to Mike Tirico.
Ron, another update on baseball. Roger McDowell of the Texas Rangers gets Vince Coleman to induce this fly ball to center field, ending the game. So that means if California loses, Seattle wins the West. They back in. And if California loses, the Yankees win the wild card. Seattle does not clinch the West on their own thus far tonight.
Ron, one of these two teams is going to get a big play, and it's going to change the course of this football game. They've had some big play opportunities, just have not been able to take advantage.
And the second down play, this is Gerald Moore, who will take it out to around the 20-yard line, and now they got a third down and long.
Gerald Moore, nicknamed Thunder. He looks like thunder. 5'8", 226. He's going to be a good back for some team in the NFL someday as the one-back player back there because he's got great hands, built low to the ground. He's got accelerate. He's got it all.
He really does have good acceleration, Mike, which gives him an added weapon with that body, that stocky body that a lot of backs don't have.
You'd like to get the ball to him in the passing game because he has really got some great hands.
Blitz coming right up the middle. Moore has time to get it away, but that's what the pressure forced him to do. Threw it too quickly, and it was Kerry Hicks who was all over him.
Kerry Hicks, the player last week that blocked the A&M field goal that kept the score at 21-20. The starter and defensive line for Bill McCartney for all those years, and now Rick Neuheisel.
You remember I told you he always has a big play. He had to block that field goal last week against Texas A&M, which was giant. Let's see if Brian Lewis can get this one away, and everybody picks up their man. Pressure up the middle, and I'll tell you what, I'm not so sure that Southward didn't get a piece of this one. But it takes an Oklahoma bounce and a huge cheer from the crowd as this one is going to go inside the 30-yard line. So they wind up with a 51-yard boot. Timeout on the field. Let's take it with them. We'll be right back. Oklahoma 17-14. And Mike, what in the world is going on special teams?
Well, first of all, 10-man rush. Your center is not going to block anybody. Now, this is Southward again. He's going to come through. We're going to watch him come through. And we'll stop it here in a second. I'll show you what the problem is. Stop it right here. That's the personal protector now, number 27, Colin Southward, Colin Rosenberg. He just misses the block. And now you got another possibility of a kick block. He didn't get to it that time.
He didn't get to it, but
close.
But he forced him to get away a very high and short kick, but they got a good bounce. Barnes the setback, and he takes the deep handoff. Good job by that OU defense. Simpson, along with Martin Chase, combining to stop him.
Slow development plays against this Oklahoma defense. You can forget about it because they run too well. They recover. They get off blocks. All those three of those linebackers, we had that Bermuda triangle of linebackers at Louisville the other night were pretty good linebackers. I don't know what this triangle would be called, but these are three really solid backers that can run.
They did lose a yard, so it's going to be second down. The line to make is out at the 40. Play action. Hessler over the middle, got a man wide open. They blew a coverage, and it's Caruth. And remember, he can fly. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Colorado. You remember I told you some people say he's under 4'2". You get him in the open field, forget it.
Well, I said it earlier. Somebody's going to get a big play and going to take over this football game, and it's Colorado.
71 yards.
Interesting about Ray Caruth, who caught that touchdown pass. He's a running back in high school, and Colorado under Bill McCartney recruited a lot of running backs and then moved him to wide receiver. This is Ray Caruth. Runs under a 4.3 40, and you, like you said, Rod Henderson, you forget it. Strike up the band because you're not going to catch him.
71 yards, and just like that, the Buffaloes have gone on top. Voskerichian to attempt the extra point, and he's got it, so we'll take a break. 7:54 left in the third quarter, and all of a sudden, the Buffaloes are warming up.
Here's your wake-up call, nature lover.
If that didn't work, try this. Now for under $16,000, get a classic Jeep Cherokee with 190 horsepower, no charge air, quadra-link suspension, AM/FM stereo, and driver's airbag. All for less than $16,000. Now, if that didn't wake you up, try this.
There's only one Jeep, and only at your Florida Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Fast as the dogs out for the Greyhound track? Good doggy. At Seminole Greyhound Park, every day is payday. You don't have to have a lot of scratch to have fun at the Greyhound track. In fact, even small bets can turn into big bucks. At Seminole Greyhound Park, every day is payday.
Update on the baseball situation. They're tied at 1, LA and San Diego in the 5th. The Dodgers must win to stay ahead of Colorado in the National League West race. The wild card is still active as well. Tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll definitely see Houston at Chicago. May also see coverage of the Yankees at Toronto. Then, here on ESPN, after the NASCAR race, any game that has significance in filling one of the 8 Major League Baseball playoff spots, you'll see. If there are more than one at the same time, we'll bounce you around. Ron?
Colorado 21, Oklahoma 17. For the first time in the night, the Buffaloes are leading. Look at the scoring drive. 2 plays, 69 yards, 48 seconds is what they needed.
That's a big play offense at Colorado. They get you in that too-tight game, and they run the football, and they've got so much speed on the outside. They're always capable of hitting you with that big play.
Jason Leslie from Palacios, Texas will kick it off. Transferred in from UCLA. And they use him specifically for 4 kickoffs. Got under this one, kicking into the wind. Mills on the run from the 13. And let's check in with Mike Adama. He's got more on Caruth. Mike?
Well, Ron and Mike, we always have known that the Buffaloes possess great team speed, and we just found out why Ray Caruth is the fastest of the Buffaloes. But this past spring, indoors with attendance of several pro scouts, watch here, he runs a legit 4.240. What's really amazing about Ray is that he's a guy who can do it with a pair of shoulder pads on and a helmet. So many times we've seen track athletes not be able to compete as football players, but Ray Caruth can.
Mike, I think you'd get a total endorsement from that OU secondary after that last play of 71 yards. Pitch, man at the top of the eye. There's nothing there for Allen, and now this Colorado defense is aroused after that long touchdown.
They've kind of taken control of this football game just before half when they made that play, that 4th and 1, the quarterback sneaked and threw the touchdown pass. They have had control since that point. Blocked that, had the punt block, and they're in control right now. Eric Moore has to find the answer now.
Biggest thing that they've done also, Mike, they have taken this partisan crowd out of the ball game for the moment. See the pressure right up the middle. Hit by Murkison. He is going to be sacked, and I had to wait for a moment. I thought that he grabbed him by the face mask when he made the tackle.
They're doing so much blitzing inside. You see number 33, Ron Murkison, just come through free. James Allen tried to block him, but that angle's too tough. James Allen, where he's lined up, he can't get to Ron Murkison before he gets to Eric Moore.
So the loss is 7 yards, and it's going to be now a 3rd down, and the line to make is all the way out at the 35.
Now what Colorado would like to do is bait the young quarterback into an interception.
From the shotgun, Moore rolls the pocket. He's going to go on top, going for it all. And overthrown and out of bounds. Juwan Penny is who he wanted. T.J. Cunningham with cover on the play.
And T.J. Cunningham was a receiver last year. He's an excellent tackler. That's A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator that's brought this blitzing style of defense. Howard Snellenberger's seen a lot of this in his past, so he knows he got to find some answers. T.J. Cunningham, good coverage. See if they solve this protection problem they have.
10-man rush again. Wobbly kick, but he's going with the win, and the fair catch is made at the 42-yard line by Roscoe. Well, final round coverage continues tomorrow for the PGA Buick Challenge. Fred Funk and Steve Stryker tied for the lead at 11 under par. And from Tanglewood Country Club, the Cadillac Senior PGA Tour Vantage Championship. Hale Irwin and Dave Stockton tied at 10 under par. All final round coverage tomorrow.
John Hester would like to take the nails and the hammer right now and start hammering away at this defense of Oklahoma.
Now a 3rd tailback on the night for Colorado is Lyndon Henry, a sophomore from Port Arthur, Texas, number 39, checks into the backfield. And it's Henry who gets the handoff, and he'll take it for 3, maybe 4. DeQuacy puts the stop on him.
Kurt Van Valkenburg, a defensive coordinator for Howard Schnellenberger, is doing a nice job against the run. See Howard Schnellenberger maybe telling the defensive tackles wants a little bit more inside moves. They've been angling and slanting all night out of those 2 defensive tackles.
OU's defense has had to play a lot in the last quarter. They need a big play right here, though.
Well, Colorado's big plays, 7 big plays in this game. That's what you have to shut down when you shut down Colorado.
Hessler rolls the pocket, throws the completion to McCarty, but the hit is made immediately, and it's going to be 3rd down and long for CU.
Man coverage by Oklahoma, so they were right on the tight end, Tennyson McCarty.
21-17. Colorado leading over Oklahoma. As we're about to go into 5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. And this home crowd asking their defense to give them a stop right here. Pass is complete. Caruth again. And that's going to be enough for the Colorado 1st down at the Oklahoma 44.
I'm sure Oklahoma knows how fast Ray Caruth is also, and you're just going to see the big cushion again on the side where Ray Caruth is on. Corners bailing out, strong safety working inside, but Ray Caruth coming from that inside receiver against Darius Johnson. Just not able to cover him.
18 of 25. Play action. He's looking to go long. And Savoy is who he wanted, and Savoy got turned around. Larry Bush was the closest man to it. And Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, Colorado's one of 15 Division 1A schools to have to go to a backup quarterback because of injury. UCLA's in that mix. Cade McNown's 11 of 12 tonight, including this touchdown pass to Jim McElroy. Neuheisel's alma mater is up 17.
Like I've never seen so many left-handed quarterbacks all of a sudden.
Kenny Stabler. I mean, that was the guy. He started all this.
Oh, my. 2nd down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the Oklahoma 44. Pressure breaks down, and another sack by Oklahoma. That's twice they've gotten to him, and it's Cedric Jones.
That's why he may be the best defensive lineman in the country. Because he is good against the run, and he's good in pass rush. Number 57, working on an inside move. Clint Moore just gave him up. He thought he was going to get some help from the guard, but he didn't get any help, and Cedric Jones helped himself to John Hessler.
Boy, now
that was big there.
I'm telling you, it is now a 3rd down and 20 as you look at 6 tackles, 6 hurries, and 2 sacks by Cedric Jones, the senior from Houston Lamar. Screen back to the near side of the field. They got blockers in front at the 30, and Henry finally run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Boy, did they catch Oklahoma in the right defense.
Well, what they were doing is that they had long yardage situation, and they know that number 57 is going to put his ears back and come. So what is the best way to handle the pass rush is just run a screen pass. Get your guard out in front. Work him, let him come on in, and now get the screen to Landon Henry, number 39. Good blocking, Heath Irwin, Brian Stoltenberg.
Stoltenberg just absolutely destroyed the defensive player.
That's how you help your offensive lineman with pass rush, though. A good call.
Troutman is back in the ball game, and he's going to take it for a gain of about 4, maybe 5.
We talked about this earlier. When you've been in as many big games as this ball club has, under Bill McCartney for the last 4 years at the 5th-year seniors, or 3 years if you're a senior, and now under Rick Neuheisel, you get used to playing these kind of games. Their schedule this year, they played 4 ranked teams in the first 5 games, so they're used to these big nights.
And he's going to battle. Here comes a late flag in as he goes inside the 15. Peters made the stop on him. So the Buffalo Express gets derailed for a moment as holding is called on Colorado.
About the conversation with Rick Neuheisel when he said he went down to visit Steve Spurrier and talked a little bit about how he was going to be able to handle being the head coach, but he also wanted to still be the quarterback coach, and he wanted to find out how Steve Spurrier spent his time, which is a good move for him.
Thought the other thing, investing with him last night and asking him about his youth and young ideas, and was he going to kind of go against the grain as far as some habits that older coaches have. In a statement he made, he said, there's no underestimating having fun. He said, I want focus, discipline, intensity, all that stuff, but also want my kids to have fun. And so far they are.
It's a good way to do that. Win.
Yep. Over the middle. Savoy almost intercepted. Anthony Fogle is the man who tipped it. And Hessler really kind of gambled on that.
Well, he did. And Kurt Van Valkenburg, the defensive coordinator, had the perfect defense on for this play. He's got Anthony Fogle sitting in center field for the interception. He just didn't make the interception for Howard Snellenberger. Here's the throw down the middle to Phil Savoy, but number 9, Anthony Fogle's got this interception. He needs to make this play. Can't give Colorado too many chances. Now, you have the interception, you drop the ball. Now Colorado has to make Oklahoma pay for that.
It is 3rd down and 16. Slings it out. That's Henry. And Henry breaks the tackle and is on his way. He will score. And Oklahoma pays.
Defense complete. Number 39, Lyndon Henry, who carried in for the touchdown.
And now there is a late flag in the end zone.
They may have heard our conversation today about the celebration rule. But Ron, Howard Snellenberger is going to look back at this tape, and he's going to look at a lot of different things in this ballgame. His team's not quite where Colorado is. And then again, the big play, a big game philosophy of Colorado is paying off right now in the 3rd quarter. But they're not making the plays. And when you miss an interception like that and give a good ball club one more shot, they're going to hurt you.
Howard said on Thursday afternoon during the practice that, he said, we're still a distance away, but this is our first big test. But he said, I'd rather play us early than I had late because we're going to get better with every ball game. Voskerichian knocks home the extra point, and as we go to break, let's take one more look. Oh, we're going to stay here. And what a great individual effort by Lyndon Henry.
Yeah, it was a good safe call. Melvin Thomas, the right tackle, the inexperienced tackle. You're going to see him out there. He gets the block on Broderick Simpson. Now the other blocks. Now the cutback by Landon Henry. There's the missed tackle by Larry Bush, and it's into the end zone. And the nails are coming out again into the coffin of Oklahoma. Missed block there. Missed tackle by Malin Wesley. There's another one. Wendell Davis, number 28. You can't miss all those tackles.
By the way, you could see 65, Chris Nioli downfield. Their offensive linemen, particularly Irvin, Stoltenberg, and Nioli, the 2 guards in the tackle, they are devastating downfield, Mike. They don't miss.
And Howard's upset because he knows that he's got this crowd in here tonight, and he really has kind of played the Pied Piper, and he went out on the limb and said, we're going to win this game. And really, the reason he did that was to give his players some confidence because he felt like they'd been beaten down the last few years. They didn't have the confidence that they had the Barry Switzer years here.
And I think what Howard was saying right there is lock up. Don't just hit people, but lock up on the tackle.
You're talking about Chris Nioli, number 65. Didn't practice most of the week because of an injured ankle. Came back tonight and really playing a good, solid game for the Buffaloes.
So Jason Leslie will kick it off for Colorado, and another 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. 28-17. Colorado by 11. And they trailed by 10 twice in the first half. Ball is touched by the up man at the 30 and taken out to the 39-yard line. So the Sooners will have good field position to open this drive. And let's go down to Mike Adamle. Mike?
Well, you know, Howard Schnellenberger came to Norman to bring the Sooner Nation, as he likes to call it, a national championship one day. So does this game make or break OU season? Here's what he told us.
We're in the development process. This is not a national championship game for us. What this is for us is a very big and important midterm exam for this new football team that's taking football 101 right now. A win now would tell us that we have passed the exam to this point.
And that's the way you have to look at it, Ron. You can't ever say, you can't circle the wagons the fourth game of the year and say this is it. Even though you got all the crowd pumped up, you know he's got to keep improving this program. 6-6 record last year, just trying to get better.
So it's going to be second down and long.
I like this thing where he says Sooner Nation. He's rallying the Sooner Nation, calling them all to arms. They're here in arms.
Moore complete to his tight end, Alexander. And close to the first down as he's wrestled out by Liamidi.
The pass complete to Alexander.
Stephen Alexander's been impressive tonight at the tight end spot. Leading receiver on this Oklahoma team. Good throw again by Eric Moore to Stephen Alexander. Just a flat route. Makes the catch. Donnell Liamidi with the tackle.
Well, I asked Eric Moore about Stephen Alexander. I said, I get the feeling you're kind of partial to him. And he admitted, he said he catches everything that's around him. Fumbled the snap. On the third down and short, Colorado signaling that they have it.
Looked like Eric Moore pulled out too fast.
And you see the fists go up, so that means fourth down. It means that Oklahoma has retained possession.
And Howard Schnellenberger is going to go for this. It's a challenge to his offensive line right here, 4th and 1.
And Colorado wants a timeout with 1:15 left in this third quarter.
Miami and Florida State, perhaps the fiercest rivalry in America. Miami may be down, but it will make their season to knock off their hated foe. For Florida State, no less than a national championship is on the line. Next Saturday at 7:30. Join us.
Oh, we look forward to that one next Saturday night in Tallahassee. And that's another place where they not only know how to, but they like to get excited. And Mike Tirico, let's check in with you again.
Well, Ron, from number one, talking about Florida State, to number 1, Eddie Robinson on the all-time list. Prairie View is also number 1 on the all-time loss list. This was the final play of the game, this touchdown run for Grambling. No time on the clock as Grambling beats Prairie View soundly. So Robinson has won 399 games. He goes for 400 on the deuce. Next Saturday, Grambling hosting Mississippi Valley State. See a little piece of college football history, perhaps, next Saturday at 4 Eastern.
Well, our congratulations go out to Eddie on getting that win number 399. And Mike, I'm really pulling for those kids from Prairie View. I mean, that is tough.
That is very tough.
Fourth down, Oklahoma, and inches. With a yard to spare. Russell caught Gerald Moore in midair, but he couldn't do anything about it.
You just see the fire in Howard Schnellenberger's eyes on the sideline. Donnie Duncan, the athletic director, who's really one of the better athletic directors in the country, chose Howard Schnellenberger to rebuild this program. Gerald Moore over the top, number 7 for the first down. But Howard Schnellenberger knows it's going to be a patient test. He just wants to have the same fire in his players that he has.
Well, he is pacing that sideline like a caged lion. And you're right, he wants it to be infectious.
Moore going on top again, and he's got a man just overthrown. Terrence Brown at the 10-yard line.
Pass to Terrence Brown, incomplete.
Well, if you want to see how involved he is in the ball game, this is Snellenberger on that last play. Just inches. Just inches. And, of course, he's throwing with the wind. And both quarterbacks, when they put air under the ball going in this direction, have overthrown just by inches. All-out blitz, and they hit him with a drop play. Hicks will make the tackle. But if he gets by that wave right there, there's a lot of running room for Moore.
First by number 94, Terry Hicks.
Clock is running with 33, now 32 seconds left in this third quarter. And the Buffaloes down 10-0, and then down 17-7 in the first half. Now up by 11 points, 28-17. One tackle, runs into his own man, and then is going to be picked off by Lee Amidi. And with that, the end of the third quarter with our score, Colorado 28 and Oklahoma 17.
We're about to meet Freddie Fast. Oh, there he is.
Barry, how you doing, Barry?
Hey, guys, what's in the bag? McDonald's juicy quarter pounder with cheese.
2 for $2, Mr. Half-size halfback.
Hey, I'll trade you autograph for them.
No way, Mr. Rushmeister.
I'll trade you autograph football.
It's not going to happen here, Rocket Toast.
Season tickets.
Got him.
Skybox?
Now you can convert $2 into 2 hot, tempting quarter pounders with cheese, or 2 morning fresh sausage McMuffins with egg. But the clock's ticking, so hurry.
And this just in. Superstar running back Barry Sanders is involved in some kind of major trade.
Have you had your break today?
The third baseman? That's my son. I'd like him to grow up in his own home. My friends gave me some tips on how much I can afford to spend, but it didn't sound right to me. I may have to wait till my boy makes it big in the majors, and then he can buy the house. Or maybe not.
At Fannie Mae, we're the nation's largest source of funds for mortgage lenders. Call us for a free guide to get you started on the path to home ownership.
Come on, move the car. Hey, move the car. Hey, what is wrong with you? Move the...
Wrangler jeans. Available in the 2 colors boys prefer most. Black and blue. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Wrangler, the perfect jean for your 10-year-old son. And your 10-year-old husband. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
How do you know? Who do you trust? What are they really saying? Only one long-distance company gives you written proof that your business saves over AT&T. There's no question about savings with MCI's Proof Positive.
Well, sure, my business is saving with AT&T. At least I think so. I feel that we are. I'm sure that we are. How would I know if we weren't? I don't think we'd know. I don't know if we're saving.
There's no question about savings with MCI's Proof Positive.
28-17 Colorado as we begin play in this fourth quarter. And Oklahoma with a 4th down and a punting situation. Brian Lewis waits for the snap at his 38. Colorado's got the return on this time. Wobbly kick into the wind, and a fair catch made by Roska at the 14-yard line. Garrett McGee, we haven't seen him tonight. He's the backup quarterback for Oklahoma. But watch
watch him just a moment ago, Mike, really trying to fire up the troops on the sideline.
Well, he's a senior, and you like to see that because even though he's not in the ball game, you still expect your seniors to lead.
Well, a reminder, every 10, 30, and 50 minutes after the hour, ESPN updating you on all the scores, things going on in the world of sports. London Henry will remain in a tailback for the Buffaloes. He gets it, big hole to the right side, and he is very close to a gain of 10 yards as Tyrell Peters will wrap him up.
Sometimes your passing game has to be used to open up your running game, and now Colorado been successful throwing the football. Now we're going to turn to the run.
By the way, you make a good point. So good that Hessler's 4 touchdown passes tonight that ties a Colorado record. Cordell Stewart and also Coy Detmer tied also with 4 touchdown passes in the ball game. There's Coy on the sideline. I hope he doesn't try to come back too soon and injure himself so that he ends any possibility of playing football.
I talked to Jerry Punch. Jerry Punch talked to their doctor the other day, and they felt like he was going to be okay. Not a lot of swelling, and they thought he had good movement. And I think they'll make a good decision on that.
London Henry puts a head down. You could hear the pop up here as Peters and Rod Manuel combine to make the stop on him. Well, what kind of balance have the Buffaloes had tonight? Well, this is what it looks like. Passing 284 and rushing only 31 yards.
And Oklahoma's only really given up an average of 50 in the first 3 games, but they've been the passing team. San Diego State, SMU, North Texas State.
Savoy makes the catch at the 30 and is being pushed back. That'll wind up being a gain of 4. Bush and Broderick Simpson combined to make the tackle.
The other thing about the Colorado quarterbacks, they do not throw a lot of interceptions. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They know where they're going with the football, and that's attention to detail. As you see Coy Detmer, who played down in Mission, Texas, for his father. They know where they're going with the football. It's not a guess for them.
Clock going under 13 minutes left to play in this one. And the Buffaloes would love to have about a 7 or 8 minute drive right here. Didn't get the playoff, though. This one's going to cost them 5 as the whistles are now being blown. And instead of a second down and about 5, it's going to be second down and 10.
Delay of game being called against Colorado.
Well, since his arrival in '94, they've thrown only 5 interceptions, Mike, to back up your point, in 434 attempts.
And you look at John Hessler coming into this season, into the A&M game, he only threw 15 passes for Colorado. So all of a sudden he takes over the A&M game, and here tonight he's thrown for 4 touchdown passes. Again, attention to detail.
So it looks like we're having trouble with the 25-second clock. It is showing 0. So John Laurie has to go over behind the bench. And so we're going to be held up here for just a second as they try to get that problem rectified. And let's check in with Mike Tirico again. Mike?
Ron, in baseball, it's simple. If California loses, the Yankees and Seattle are in the playoffs. Down 3-1, Chili Davis, a 3-run homer that put California ahead, a lead that they've extended now up 5-3. The Angels need a win to stay alive in both the West race and the wild card race. We'll keep you updated. So will SportsCenter after this 4th quarter. Ron.
All right, thanks, Michael. And the look on this young man's face, you'd think he was down in the ball game, but his club leads by 11. whistle. In trouble. He's going to be sacked at the 25-yard line. 3 times they've gotten to him. And Martin Chase, big number 93, who's only a sophomore out of Lawton, is the guy who got him. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 10. That's the first sack that's been gotten by somebody other than Cedric Jones tonight.
Good success throwing to the backside of the backfield. They had the flare pass on last time. Threw a screen early in the ball game. Nice time for this, too.
Right over the middle. It is dropped by Caruth.
Tyrell Peters, the linebacker, middle linebacker, was right in good position. Here comes the crowd now trying to get one last-ditch effort for this ball club.
Peters heading for the sideline, and we're going to have P.J. Mills back to receive this punt from Mitchell. Pressure is on. They didn't get to it, though. Very high. Good coverage kick. And Mills going to run away from it. And it will be touch dead at the 37-yard line. So it is a 37-yard punt, and we'll be right back.
As soon as a State Farm customer calls with a claim, I'm right on the phone to our claims center.
We work as partners. Nancy gives me the information, then I contact our customer.
We've settled hundreds of claims together. John's attitude is...
You got to be quick, and you've got to be fair.
Quick and fair.
At State Farm, teamwork is what it's all about.
We make a great team.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Introducing the new Plymouth Grand Voyager. It's filled with clever ideas. Now there's a sliding door on this side and this side. 27% more room for you and all your stuff. And seats that roll out of the way. A gazillion cup holders that hold almost anything. Plus more safety and greater visibility. You can carry more and do more. The new Plymouth Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
There's one way to win the Napa 500, and then there's another. At Napa's Pick the Winner sale, where you can register for a chance to win the Napa 500 pace car. While you're here, pick up some great parts and accessories at low prices, like Autolite spark plugs, just 49 cents, and Napa halogen headlights as low as $4.99. The Pick the Winner sale, going on now at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. And by Chrysler Plymouth and your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Well, the Sooners still have time. We have 11:47 left in this fourth quarter. But, Mike, we got to do better than they did in the third. They were held to only 29 yards in that third quarter play.
And that's the reason Garrett McGee's now in the quarterback. They're looking for a spark. Howard Snellenberger trying to get the senior to give us, or the junior to give us a spark.
Quick screen, Mills right over the middle. Looking for a block, and he gets it. Inside the 40 and down to the 36-yard line.
When you throw the wide receiver screen, the other wide receiver to that side has to block. Jawan Penny, number 89, gets the first block, and the big block for P.J. Mills. He comes back inside. Jawan Henry, you see, Jawan Penny makes the block. Now, P.J. Mills works up the football field and shows good speed also.
He caught a touchdown pass in the first game he ever played here at Oklahoma. He had 26 yards on that play and was only one man away from taking it the distance. Well, Garrick McGee gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that was a coverage sack right there.
Well, Howard Snellberger's playing Sparky Anderson here. He's bringing in his reliever here, Garrick McGee, who you see has been pretty productive. And Gary Nord told me the other day in the meeting, the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, he says, Garrick McGee is solid on this thing. He knows we're going with Eric Moore, and he wants just to be a part of this ball club. And as our picture showed earlier, he was rallying this team on the sideline.
And Penny just dropped it. hit him in the hands, and he was trying to go ahead and make his turn before he secured it.
That's a good throw by Garrick McGee. Difference in the two quarterbacks, of course. Garrick McGee's a senior. Sees the field maybe a little bit better than the younger Eric Moore. Transfer out of Arizona State, Garrick McGee.
10 minutes, 41 seconds left to play in the ball game. And Oklahoma trying desperately to get something going. Screen to Gerald Moore. Breaks it up the middle. Gets by one tackler and is going to be caught about 2 yards shy of the first down. And Colorado has an injured player at the 35.
Gerald Moore. Tackle made by Steve Roscoe.
Ron, this play really didn't have much of a chance. What made it a play is Gerald Moore has some good ability. You see the nickname Thunder moving up that football field. Harry Stamp, 76. Good block. Steve Roscoe with the tackle. You got to be impressed with Gerald Moore.
Looks like this is Darryl Price, number 95, a senior out of Beaumont, who is injured on the play. He has had some knee problems. Don't know if it is a knee or not, and we're going to find out in just a moment. We'll take a break. 10:25 left in our ball game. 11-point Colorado lead.
Just off the Pacific Coast Highway, there's a place where America ends and the Pacific begins, all right outside your window. It's the Seven Gables Inn overlooking Monterey Bay. 7 gables, 14 rooms, one spectacular view. So if you go, bring your wide-angle lens and your Visa card, because the Seven Gables Inn will take your breath away. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a flash of speed. It's a measure of skill. A test of guts. That's why the true spirit of NASCAR lies not in the machine, but in the man who drives it. We're proud to be part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. To make the new Plymouth Grand Voyager even more versatile, they simply went back to the drawing board. And voila, a driver's side sliding door was born. Now it's twice as easy to get into, twice as easy to get out of, twice as easy to load, twice as easy to unload. Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
In a rivalry like this, rankings don't matter. Miami versus top-ranked Florida State. Next Saturday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Colorado 28 and Oklahoma 17. Tomorrow at 1, catch the return of Ernie Irvan to the racing scene. The 16-time NASCAR Winston Cup winner debuts in the Holly Farms 400 tomorrow on ESPN. Well, we're happy to report that Darryl Price was able to come off the field under his own steam, but I'm not sure if he knew if he was in Chakotay, Chickasha, or Parker City. He had been knocked a little silly. Blitz up the middle, ball is fumbled, it's still loose, and Colorado has picked it up. Jones will take it back to the 45-yard line.
A fumble in the backfield.
Frustration. You can't make, again, those mistakes. Look like a low snap to Garrick McGee that he never really had a chance to handle. Turnovers. You see Colorado with 0, and Howard Snellenberger's ball club just coughing up a 4th and 2 situation. Just check the snap out to Garrick McGee. It said never got back. Chuck Langston hit him in the foot.
Sure did. He hit him right in the big toe.
Greg Jones, 59, picks it up. He was an outside linebacker last year, led Colorado in sacks last year.
And the ball will be at the 7-yard line.
Jones in the sideline looks as so he might have gotten that left arm injured a little bit after he picked up the fumble. Running play will go with Troutman. Tyrell Peters, number 45, the junior out of Norman. He's there to make the stop.
Talking to the coaches the other day, they said sometimes Tyrell Peters likes to run around blocks. And, of course, you don't want people to run around blocks. And they were watching film one day, and they told him, said, you can't run around blocks. You can't make the play. And then all of a sudden he made the play. And they said, well, the next time you won't be able to make the play. He ran around that block and just made the play again. Some guys just have great ability to get to the football.
Shovel pass to Troutman. And then he really gets waxed by Sterling Lucky, and a bunch of other Sooners came in to help out after that.
Was complete to Troutman. Sterling Lucky on the last tackle. Ball now at the 40-yard line. Will be third down.
So, Mike, when Oklahoma comes back on offense, do you come back with Garrick McGee? Do you come back with Eric Moore, the freshman? Or
I think you go with Garrick McGee again. He had him on a little bit of a run. Matt Lepsis now, the tight end's been quiet the last few plays for Colorado in the passing game.
Third down, and they need the 47-yard line, and they get it complete on the near sideline to Ray Caruth, and Caruth's going to have the first down, +8.
Again on the outside, the big cushion by Oklahoma. Ray Caruth, as you see him come off the ball, 31 Larry Bush just gives him a lot of room and really turns and starts to run. And again, that's the threat of that speed. That's what speed will do to you on the outside, your corners.
Your attention, please. Will the driver of the bus, Mark Jenkins, start with a
111 yards on 5 receptions. 16 on that last pass play. That's a pretty good ratio there as far as yardage, Mike. Troutman straight ahead. He'll have 3. Peters stops him, and right now all Colorado's interested in is just running that clock on down. Mike Adamle, let's check with you.
Well, all 3 of us were down here at practice last night when Colorado was walking through, and I think teams in a lot of respects are reflecting in their coaches. And Rick Neuheisel made a point of saying that he believes that football should be fun, that there's a place for discipline. A couple of weeks ago, it was snowing in Boulder. A lot of freshmen on his team had never seen snow before, so he called a timeout in practice and said, guys, go for it. They had a big snowball fight. More in a moment.
Pass on top. He's got Savoy in the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. He's the new record holder. That is more touchdown passes than any quarterback has ever thrown in a game for Colorado.
Somewhere Bill McCartney may be watching this game tonight. He kind of built this program. He really did. He took it when they were really down and people got on him a little bit early, and Bill Marotte, the AD, stayed with him, and he built a program. And even though they lost all those players to the draft last year, this is still a solid program, and Rick Neuheisel's doing a great job with it.
Well, they're trying to get one more blocking back on. This is Rosca, who's coming on late. And Voskovichian gets it, and let's take a break. 7:46 left in our ball game. It is the Buffaloes by 18.
Seven, 6. Galen Black Ford announces an amazing closeout event. 1. Liftoff. It's Galen Black Ford's 72-hour clearance countdown. Every new 95 must be sold. Open till midnight Friday and Saturday. Low clearance prices marked on every new 95 Ford. Save up to $5,500. Galen Black Ford's 72-hour clearance countdown. Highway 436, 6 miles west of I-4 Apopka. It's out of this world.
Hi there, I'm Paul Troxler from Utopia, Texas. All cowboys wears a cowboy hat. With the Saturn, I can get in it with my hat on, and I'm comfortable, and I still got an ancient hat to play without it rubbing on top, which means a whole lot to me. I don't like for anybody to see my bald head, so I can keep my hat on, see? Come back when you can stay longer than 30 seconds.
On SportsCenter, the Mariners look to navigate their way to the postseason. Lou's back on the sidelines, but the Buckeyes remain a pain in the neck. Plus Ernie's amazing comeback. Truck on over to SportsCenter following the game.
And remember, tomorrow on ESPN2, the final day of the regular season, you will see one of those two games, maybe both, if they both mean something for the playoffs. And if any of the 8 playoff spots are still up for grabs after the auto race, you will see all the meaningful action on ESPN. Back to Ron.
Well, there you see our new score. Colorado 35 and Oklahoma 17. And you know, right at the beginning of the second half, Mike Adamle had the interview with Coy Detmer, and we discussed here in the booth as well that we thought that Hessler had calmed down, that he was really into the game. I think he's calmed down all right. In the second half alone, he is 10 of 14 for 212 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Looks pretty excited to me right now.
Jason Leslie's kick 2 yards deep, and P.J. Mills to return it.
Ron, here's what happens when you get outs thrown on you all day. You try to take it away. Stop it right there. What happens is the corner rolls up. So he's in a position to take away the out. Now what happens is Phil Savoy sees the coverage. Now he breaks down the field. Stop it right here. Number 5 has got to be over the top. That's Malin Wesley. He's not there. What do you have? You got a touchdown for Phil Savoy. Busting coverage.
So the Sooners go from their own 13-yard line, and Oklahoma has not scored since we had 5:42 left in the first half. Garrett McGee under pressure and just throws it away. That was Greg Jones who was holding on to it.
Oklahoma's second half possessions not been pretty. A.J. Kristoff, defensive coordinator, with some good halftime adjustments. Oklahoma missed some opportunities in the first half. We talked about that. But again, this is a team that's going to get back to the big games under Howard Schnellenberger. He's going to take his time. He's going to take a few lickings, not many, along the way, and he'll be back in these big games before long.
McGee going to run with it, and he'll get out of bounds. And again, it's Greg Jones who was out there to make the play, number 59.
I'd say Barry Switzer and spoiled the Sooner fans here for so many years. The great job he did here at Oklahoma.
And, of course, Bud had spoiled him pretty well before that.
I'd say.
In fact, at that time, I think they called it, Oklahoma and the Seven Dwarfs.
But they got the right guy to rebuild it.
P.J. Mills flipping from the right over to the left. Ball is fumbled. It's on the ground, and Colorado has recovered at the 12-yard line, and it's Clifton Peters who got that one.
Looked like a bad snap again, and the only thing I could figure out is there's so much going on around Chuck Langston with the blitzing and the linebacker on his nose that he's just not concentrating on getting the football back. Clifton Peters, number 44, in the action side. Again, I think what's happened is the blitzing has really taken its toll on the shotgun. Here's the exchange, and you see what he has to contend with, the linebackers and everything. The low blitz again, the low snap, rather. Clifton Peters with the recovery.
So we're about to go under 7 minutes left to play in this one, and Colorado on the doorstep. Hessler with the give, and it's Marlon Barnes back in the ball game. And let's check in once again with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Moments ago in San Diego at the Murph, Doug Buckler pitching to Raul Mondesi, who left with a knee injury last night. Dramatic 2-run homer, breaking a 1-all tie. Dodgers lead 3-1. If they win, they clinch at worst a tie in the West. So not great news for the Buck fans, who are also Rocky fans. Ron?
Okay, thank you. Howard Schnellenberger probably thinking about conversation he's going to have after the ball game.
He's thinking about tomorrow, too. He wants to get right back to that tape, and he wants to get back on the practice field. Correct these mistakes.
And it's going to be a third down as Barnes takes it into the right side of the line.
This is still a pretty talented football team.
Oh, no question. And Mike, when you got a defense as good as this is.
And you got marquee people, the linebackers, Cedric Jones. There's just a lot of mistakes tonight. Not getting the interception, missed tackles, blocked kicks, just things that they unraveled a little bit. And that's what you expect in a big game sometimes when a team hasn't been in one.
Now, the way the 25-second clock is running down, I would assume Colorado is going to call a timeout. Either that or just go ahead. Yep, they're going to wait and call the timeout just before the clock went down, and they'll stop the game clock with 5 minutes and 51 seconds left to play. So we'll take a break. 35-17, Colorado.
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. In the new Plymouth Grand Voyager, a seat is not only a seat, it's a table and a cup holder. It can come with a drawer, and one seat can convert into 2 reclining child safety seats. Overall, the Plymouth Grand Voyager seats are the best minivan seats on wheels. In fact, they're the only minivan seats on wheels. Clever idea. Plymouth Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from Dean Witter.
Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it.
At Dean Witter,
we measure success one investor at a time.
Hi, may I help you?
Yeah, I need some shorts to play basketball.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Full court or half court?
Half, I guess.
Pick up our plan. Shirts or skins?
Excuse me?
Day or night, home or away, team or one-on-one?
Is activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. The activewear that's right for however you play. Discus Athletic. The way America plays.
Horse or pig?
35-17, Colorado leading over Oklahoma. Don't forget, SportsCenter coming up. College football scores and highlights, the Major League Baseball pennant race, and the return of Ernie Irvan. That and more on SportsCenter, which is coming up right after the ball game. So for Colorado tonight, they got a wake-up call in that first half as the Sooners jumped out 10-0. Been 17-7. But here in the second half particularly, they have really come on. And as we mentioned, the passing game for Hessler and the Buffaloes has just been nothing shy of devastating.
Ron, you know when you got an important game, you bring your band.
That's right.
You designate a couple games a year where you want your band with you, and they wanted them here tonight in Oklahoma.
No backs behind the quarterback Hessler, and you hear the whistle before he got the playoff, and that's going to be another delay of game.
A real important game, you might bring Ralphie.
No, I don't.
No, I don't think they travel Ralphie.
I don't think they travel Ralphie.
That's the story of the game here, the big plays for Colorado. Such an explosive offense with all that speed outside.
Mike Adamle, let's check in with you again.
Well, in point of fact, they do travel Ralphie, but the big if is if the other team allows him in. Kansas doesn't, Oklahoma doesn't. That's why Ralphie doesn't go on the road.
I wouldn't bring him in. I wouldn't let him come either.
Barnes is going to take it down to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down.
You really have to be a sportsman to let him come if you're the opposing team, right?
Yeah. Probably the thing they worry most about is liability. And in a stadium like this where it's close and you don't have a track, there's not a large area to house the Ralphie.
Well, you'd have to take him around a couple of times to teach him his path.
Ralphie's path is wherever it wants it to be. Field goal attempt, Boscarici, and the ball will be placed down at the 18. So the 28-yard attempt, and he's got the chip shot, knocks it home. And the Buffaloes now 38-17. Mike Adamle, let's check with you again.
Well, Ron, for Colorado fans wondering if the Buffs can win a national championship without Coy Detmer, the Big 8 Conference has precedence on its side. Let's go to 1984. Remember Sooners starter Troy Aikman before he went to UCLA? He broke his leg. Jamel Holloway comes on and wins the next 7 games, and the Sooners have a national title. In 1990, Bill McCartney lost the services of Darian Hagan. Charles Johnson comes on in relief. And, of course, everybody remembers last year Nebraska fans fretted when Tommy Frazier was sidelined by blood clots. Brooke Behringer saved the dream season and went 7-0. So there is a little history for Big 8 backups.
The other thing about that, Mike, is Coy Detmer's probably going to return.
24 of 34 tonight, 348 yards and 5 touchdowns. But as we mentioned to you, probably the thing that's most impressive is what he has done in the second half. He's got 3 touchdown passes in the second half alone and over 200 yards. 10 of 14, in fact, in the second half. Jason Leslie kicks it off. P.J. Mills, 6 yards deep. He won't return this one. And let's check in once again with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Ron, this McDonald's breakaway takes us to Lincoln, and those 2 Nebraska quarterbacks that Mike was just talking about still happen to hang around in Lincoln. Tommy Frazier today against Washington State had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Amon Green, the tailback, had a big day as well, over 150 yards. Nebraska wins 14-7. They play at Colorado 4 weeks from today.
That is going to be a great football game because Colorado's got them at home, and barring any unforeseen upsets, and there's some pretty good teams in the Big 8, those 2 are set. Of course, Oklahoma visits Nebraska also.
Pass thrown complete to Alexander. Now, they like Alexander a great deal. The quarterbacks do, and you can see why. Anything that's just in his zone. Now, but he reached up high, grabbed it in, then took it out of bounds. This kid's only a sophomore. He's out of Chickasha, Oklahoma. Sports Center coming up next, and we're just under 5 minutes left to play in our game. Couldn't find anybody open, and Greg Jones is right there with him, number 59, and that's twice that he's been sacked.
Ron Murkison, the linebacker, was in coverage on Steven Alexander and had him covered so well. That's where Garrett McGee tried to go with the football. You're going to see Alexander try to go back inside. Murkison collisions him here. There's no place to go with the football. Then Greg Jones wraps up Garrett McGee.
Incomplete and off the fingertips of Penny, and then almost picked off.
Pass intended for number 89, Jawan Penny, incomplete. T.J. Cunningham defending on the play, down 9. Brian Lewis in the formation with Steve Stevens, intercept.
So Brian Lewis to punt it away. He waits back at the 6-yard line. Roskett back in a single safety for the Buffaloes. He fumbled the snap they had the return on. Picked up the return, goes down the sideline, and he'll take it to the 40. And let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Still keeping an eye on the baseball. California, Ron, they are in a very important must-win situation. J.T. Snow, 3-run homer that extends California's lead. The Angels try to stay alive in the West race and the wild card race. I'm so confused. I'm just going to watch SportsCenter and baseball tonight after us to get all straightened out.
You're confused. How about us football people? Mike, you're going to have to explain that to us. You don't know what's going on, right, Ron? Baseball? So I better speak for myself. I know you probably have it figured out.
Oh, yeah. Ayub Abdul-Rahman, the backup quarterback, number 12. He is a sophomore out of Oakland, California. 6 feet 205. And where you see the youngster, if you think, well, I've seen number 12 on the floor. Ayub Abdul-Rahman plays the up blocking back in punt formation. Now, we saw it last week with Higgins, but most teams don't use a quarterback in that position. But what he can do, and he did it against Colorado State, is take that short snap on a punt formation and either throw or run with the ball.
Well, the other thing is the reason you like a quarterback there, as some teams do, is because he makes the count and he gives the blocking assignment. So it's a quarterback on the field making decisions.
Marlon Barnes with the carry.
Boy, Detmer calling to John Hessler for an autograph.
Thanks.
Under 3 minutes left in this one. Sports Center coming up immediately following our ball game. Howard Snellenberger looking at his watch, and Howard, you're right. This has been a long ball game. First half was really quick. Rahman will run with the ball. Spins off one tackler and not going to get away from Cedric Jones, though, is number 57 to put a forearm in his back.
A lot of coaches probably tonight after a ball game will go home, but I think Howard's going to stick around here. He's been known to pull some late nights after ball games and go in, get the tape right away, and go to work right away. Probably can't sleep anyway, sick to his stomach right now, so he wants to look at the tape and figure out what he has to do next, and that's what coaching's all about and teaching.
This young man here has got a plane ride back to Boulder, but it's going to be a pleasant trip. They're going to stay undefeated. Running play, Barnes trying to go down before they get him out of bounds. And now tonight's Visa players of the game are, for the University of Colorado, quarterback John Hessler, 24 of 34, 5 touchdowns. That's a school record. And from Oklahoma, defensive end Cedric Jones, 6 tackles, 7 hurries, 2 sacks. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes.
Ron, you almost figured he was going to be better tonight because he got all the practice this week. He didn't have it against Texas A&M. He had probably about 30% of the practice work in practice. This week he got mostly all of it. So his concentration was excellent tonight, and he knew where he was going with the football, and they did a nice job of preparing John Hessler for this ball game.
They really did. And Mike, I think you got a heck of a problem that Detmer tries to come back.
Well, you know what? I tell you, really, I think they understand so well their situations. And Coy Detmer last year, same situation with Cordell Stewart. He redshirted. Cordell Stewart took it. He knew he was going to be the quarterback. I think Coy Detmer's still the starting quarterback here. Now, I agree with you. They got a little bit of a problem there, but I tell you, winning solves all that. Winning in that wide open offense solves it.
There's Bill Moreau, the athletic director of Colorado, down on the sidelines to shake hands with his new head coach. That play right there is going to wind up out of bounds, and that's not what they wanted because it'll stop the clock. Here's Bill standing next to Coach Neuheisel. Sports Center coming up next, immediately following our ball game. 38-17, the Buffaloes. And Oklahoma has not been able to score a point in the second half. Back the last time they scored was with just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Little bootleg action, and they go with the shovel pass. And Barnes will be stopped just inside the 15. And with the 4th down play, didn't pick it up, and it goes over to Oklahoma. So 31 seconds left in the ball game. The other thing that Rick Neuheisel said last night as we visited with him, I told you about
his statement of no underestimating having fun, that he does want the focus and discipline and everything, but that he wants his club to have fun. But he also made a very good point of, he said, I'll come down on immaturity. And that means missing class, not getting homework done, not getting to weightlifting, whatever. And I'll come down hard on a player when he doesn't do that. That running play goes nowhere, and that should be the final play of this ball game. Some of the players having to be separated as the clock is down to 9 and down to 8. And this one is history. That's the end of our ball game with the final score: Colorado 38, Oklahoma 17. For Mike Gottfried, Mike Adamle, and our entire ESPN crew, Ron Franklin saying so long from Norman, Oklahoma. Sports Center is next.